Let us start the day in prayer by imploring divine guidance and then after together sing Lupang Hinirang.
Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. Almighty God, most loving and merciful, we praise and glorify you, and we thank you for your kindness and generosity. We come before you today to seek your guidance and wisdom. Bless, inspire, and guide us to the right path as we perform our tasks. Fill our hearts with fraternal love, wisdom, and understanding so that we can fulfill our respective obligations with utmost efficiency and professionalism, and ultimately achieve the objectives of good governance. All this we ask for your greater glory. Amen.
Maraming salamat po, honorable guests, representatives from the PNP, Napolcom, and local government units of Angeles City and the province of Pampanga. A very good morning to everyone, and welcome to the National Police Commission web seminar on the Community and Service-Oriented Policing System, or CSOP. I am Donalyn Caparas of the Crime Prevention and Coordination Service, and I am tasked to be the Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Napolcom is delighted to have you all here today. The current health situation has affected all of government's work and operations, including Napolcom's project under the Justice Sector Coordinating Council's Convergence Program, namely the Information, Education, and Communication Campaign for the promotion of the community and service-oriented policing system. The project was supposed to be conducted face-to-face in the identified four justice zones in Quezon City, Angeles City, Davao City, and Cebu City. But of course, we all needed to adopt and adjust our modalities to be able to continue to serve the public. So the National Police Commission is maximizing the use of technology and the internet as platform for the CSOP information and dissemination. This online activity will bring the attention of the CSOP strategy as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic and the importance of cooperation, collaboration of the key players of the triumvirate for an effective delivery of basic services to the community. At this point, I have the pleasure to introduce the important personalities in our virtual stage. Let me start with the officials from the Philippine National Police. We have with us Police Brigadier General Leo M. Francisco, Deputy Regional Director for Administration and representative of Police Brigadier General Valeriano de Leon. We also have with us Police Colonel Joyce Patrick B. Sanggalang, City Director of Angeles City. Joining us today is Lieutenant Colonel Roger B. Tomen, Deputy Provincial Director for Administration of Pampanga PPO. We also have with us Lieutenant Colonel Romel Velasco, Chief of the Regional Community Affairs Division of PRO3. From the local government of Angeles City, we have Mr. Rafael Lasatin Angeles, representative of Mayor Carmelo Lasatin. And he is joined by the members of the Peace and Order Council of Angeles City. We have Honorable Maria Vicenta Cabigting, Vice Chairman of the City POC and also the Vice Mayor of Angeles City. With her is Director Martin Porres B. Moral, DILG City Director and City POC Head Secretariat. Joining them is Honorable Joseph G. Ponce and Mr. Marco Banola. From the Napolcom Central Office, we have two commissioners who will be properly introduced later in the program. We also have the team from the Crime Prevention and Coordination Service. And lastly, from our host region, we have Regional Director Julieta Paraiso Ranieses, ma'am, and Attorney Arlene Castro Co, Officer in Charge of the Office of the Assistant Regional Director. To acknowledge our participants for this webinar, may I turn over the microphone to Ms. Remedios Borejon, the Provincial Officer of Pampanga and the City of Angels. Madam Remy, take it away.
Yes, good morning to our commissioners, Commissioner Brosas and Commissioner Serapio. I present to you the list of participants to the webinar on CSOP orientation. First, we have Police Lieutenant Colonel Kenneth B.G. Vega, Deputy City Director for Administration. Police Lieutenant Colonel Karen G. Clark, Deputy City Director for Operations, CIU. Police Major Roldan T. Galliano, OIC, City Administrative and Resource Management Unit, or CARMU. Police Major Sunny L. Silva, AC Chief Operations, Acting Chief Operations Management Unit. Police Lieutenant Bernadette O. Manalastas, Logistics and Supply Officer. Police Lieutenant Colonel Melencio V. Santos, Chief City Community Affairs and Development Unit. Police Captain Rolando C. Yuto, Budget and Fiscal Officer. Police Lieutenant Colonel Augusto P. Pasamonte, Chief City Investigation and Detective Management Unit. Police Colonel Romel M. Pahe, Chief City Plans and Programs Unit. Police Lieutenant Colonel Manianito A. Lazo, Chief City Police Strategy Management Unit. Police Major Dixon G. Tolentino, Acting Station Commander, Police Station 1, Angeles City. Police Major Francisco M. Guevara Jr., Acting Station Commander, Police Station 2. Police Major Jason L. Constantino, Acting Station Commander, Police Station 3. Police Major Harris B. Gonzalez, Acting Station Commander, Police Station 4. Police Major Philip John D. Pineda, Acting Station Commander, Police Station 5. Police Major Ronald P. Macalino, Acting Station Commander, Police Station 6. Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Francis T. Siliban, Force Commander, CNFC. Police Major Brownson D. Olyagi, Acting Chief, I hope na-pronounce ko ng tama po, sir, ha? Acting Chief, Angeles City Traffic Management Enforcement Unit. Police Captain Eduardo R. Tolentino, OIC Tourist Police Unit. Police Major Roland M. Doroha, Acting Chief, Mobile Patrol Unit. And we have also, I was already mentioned. So they are the 28 participants for this webinar on CSOP orientation. I'm presenting to you these police officers. Thank you, ma'am.
Salamat po, Ms. Remy. At this point, I would like to call on the Regional Director of Napolcom Region 3 to extend Napolcom's warm welcome to all our guests and participants. Friends, our host, Regional Director Julieta Paraiso Ranieses.
Okay lang ba audio ko?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Our beloved commissioners, Comzen and Commissioner June, Police Brigadier General Leo M. Francisco, the Deputy Regional Director for Administration, representing PNP Regional Director for Region 3, Police Brigadier General Valeriano T. De Leon, Mr. Rafael Lasatin Angeles, representative of Angeles City Mayor Carmelo Lasatin Jr., my colleagues at Napolcom, dear participants from Pampanga Province and Angeles City, ladies and gentlemen, isang mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. Sa Kapampangan, Mayapa-Abak, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all present here today for taking a keen part in this vital activity. Today, we will be imparted with the knowledge about the community and service-oriented policing system, or simply CSOP. For those who already know or have heard about this project, this will be a reorientation. But for those first-timer, I'm sure there's a great deal in store for you. CSOP is one of the Napolcom's breakthrough goal in its pursuance of performance governance system. It is democratic and inclusive of different stakeholders and value-adding strategies to promote effective basic service delivery to the communities. But I won't anymore go into details on this subject. I will leave it up to our very able speaker to talk about it extensively. I'll just stick to my task for this morning, and that is to welcome you all in this webinar. We all look forward to a very lively exchange of ideas and discussions. And I strongly encourage all of you to become actively engaged. Again, our warmest welcome. Dakal asalamat.
Thank you, Director Juliet. Dama po namin ang mainit na pagtanggap ng Region 3. We have requested very prominent individuals to address us this morning. Our first speaker was the former Deputy Director General of the National Security Council, who served a total of 5 Philippine presidents. She also was the Executive Director of the Presidential Situation Room from 1989 to 2016, before she was appointed as Commissioner of the National Police Commission. May we now listen to some words of wisdom and inspiration from the Supervising Commissioner of the Crime Prevention and Coordination Service and one of the staunch advocates of CSOP. Friends, please welcome the only Lady Commissioner of Napolcom, Commissioner Senonida F. Brosas.
Thank you very much, Director Donna, for having emphasized that I served 5 decades. So, ibig sabihin, medyo, alam mo na. My fellow workers in government, officials of the Philippine National Police Region 3 who are present, the Vice Mayor, Vice Mayor Maria Vicenta Vega Cabigting, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would also like to extend my warmest felicitations to the hardworking officials and staff of Napolcom Region 3 under the leadership of Director Juliet Ranieses, who I normally call Director Ranieses, the girl. In 2017, Napolcom started cascading the Community and Service-Oriented Policing, or CSOP system, all over the country to inculcate awareness and familiarize the local chief executives and the chiefs of police on the workings and mechanics of the system. The first orientation in the province of Pampanga was conducted on April 3, 2017. But because of the changing of the guards brought about by the local elections in 2019 and the new assignments of the police officers, Napolcom continued with its information, education, and communication campaign to promote the CSOP. This initiative is supported by the 2020 Convergence Project of the Justice Sector Coordinating Council, or JSCC, which is spearheaded by the Supreme Court, the Department of Justice, and the Department of Interior and Local Government. Why Angeles City? Well, Angeles City is the fourth justice zone under the JSCC. A justice zone is described as an area where local justice sector agencies such as the police, the prosecutors, public attorneys, and managers of detention facilities identify problems and arrive at common solutions to address these problems. This concept is very similar to the policing system, which is the topic of today's briefing, the Community and Service-Oriented Policing, or the CSOP system. Napolcom, pursuant to its constitutional and statutory mandates, has prescribed the adoption of the Community and Service-Oriented Policing system in the PNP as the framework for crime prevention. The CSOP system ensures the establishment of a coordinative and cooperative mechanism through a triumvirate composed of the mayor, the police, and the community. It is now more than ever that the role of our mayor as Napolcom deputy is given more prominence as a partner in implementing government's anti-criminality and crime prevention strategy through this responsive policing system. As the overseer of the Philippine National Police, Napolcom will make sure that our police officers are conscious of the key role they plan in enabling communities to achieve socio-economic development. The CSOP system is focused on transforming the mindset of the police officers from reactive to proactive law enforcers. The police must go beyond their traditional role of preventing and solving crimes and ensuring public safety, and give premium to assisting the local government units in delivering basic services to the citizenry. The police must assist the mayor in solving community problems. This problem-oriented policing strategy involves the identification and analysis of crime and peace and order issues, including their root causes, in order to develop effective response strategies. This approach requires the police to be preemptive and dynamic. Officers are expected to work closely with the community in developing solutions. CSOP gives the police a model for addressing the conditions that created and caused other problems of concerns to the community. The CSOP shall bolster a system of collaboration and coordination among the people, local executives, and police of integrated law enforcement and public safety agencies. Its framework is hoped to promote peace and order, ensure public safety, and further strengthen local government capability in the delivery of basic services to the citizenry. In this instance, because of the pandemic, we need to focus on health concerns that more often than not become the roots of crimes related to quality of life issues. Through developing coordinated strategies and better relationships, CSOP will help the local chief executives, the police, and the community partners address persistent crime, public safety, and problems related to the delivery of basic services that affect the well-being of residents in their jurisdiction. We all need to act immediately to prepare, respond, and recover from this public health emergency. On the other hand, the CSOP system expects the community as an active agent and partner in promoting security. Members of the community must provide support to the police by giving necessary information and share available resources to help the marginalized access them better. Napolcom stands by our commitment to provide technical assistance to the CSOP Triumvirate of Angeles City, especially in relation to the implementation and monitoring of the city's crime prevention programs. This therefore means that Napolcom will monitor and evaluate the development, adoption, and implementation of community and service-oriented policing strategies as part of the Peace and Order Public Safety Plan or the POPS Plan of Angeles City. We shall guide the police in the implementation of CSOP programs, projects, services, and activities, as well as assist them in crime prevention planning at the barangay level. We will also capacitate other partners to be effective CSOP advocates. None of us will ever do great things alone. We can each do our roles, but together we can make a difference in this world. Inaasahan po namin ang inyong masigasig na pakikilahok sa pagpapalawig ng CSOP. Congratulations to everybody and thank you for helping us make this police community partnership work. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Sen. Very well said. May we now hear the message of the local chief executive of the City of Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Rafael Lasatin Angeles, who is representing Mayor Carmelo Pogi Lasatin.
Good morning to everybody. A pleasant day to all. The year 2020 introduced us to an enemy we did not expect and we could not even see. The whole world fell at the mercy of the COVID-19 pandemic. 10 months after the virus made its presence known, a vaccine has yet to be found. Until a cure for COVID-19 is discovered or invented, our way of life will continue to drastically change. Despite this, we Filipinos have always proven our resilience. When our nation is presented with a myriad of difficulties, be it foreign invasion, recession, natural calamities, and disasters, and poverty, Filipinos have always adapted and persevered. During a crisis, we put our faith in the hands of people who are willing to go above and beyond the call of duty in serving the country. Amid the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Philippine National Police tries to live up to its mission to the best of their ability, enforcing the law, preventing and controlling crimes, maintaining peace and order, and ensuring public safety and internal security. In order to ensure a highly capable, effective, and credible police service for all Filipinos, especially during these trying times, the National Police Commission continues to be vigilant in overseeing the policies and programs of the PNP. Aside from monitoring the country's police force, the Napolcom, through their community and service-oriented policing, also aims to achieve its goals of improved police service delivery, efficient collaboration with local executives, and strengthened community partnership. Through this initiative, the Napolcom is able to mobilize citizens to be more active in providing data, information, and inputs to the police and local executives about the ongoing problems, issues, and concerns their community may experience, especially during this pandemic. On behalf of Mayor Carmelo Pogi Lasatin Jr. and the Angeles City government, I would like to thank the Philippine National Police and the National Police Commission for their unwavering dedication in serving the country. May the good Lord guide us as we move forward into finally eliminating the COVID-19 virus. Thank you very much. Luigi A. Ciudad ng Angeles.
Thank you, sir. More power to the Angeles City government. Community and service-oriented policing system is an approach that is based on prevailing local conditions. So to ground us on the peace and order situation and the current programs to address COVID-19, let us listen to the presentation of no less than the Director of the Angeles City Police Office, Police Colonel Joyce Patrick B. Sanggalang. Sir, can you please unmute your mic, sir? Okay, sir.
So magandang umaga po sa lahat. Audio check po, ma'am. Okay na po.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Director Donna Caparas, ma'am, for introducing us. And allow me first to greet, before I start, ma'am, our idol and mentor, Commissioner Felizardo M. Serapio Jr., sir. Nandito na po. And then Commissioner Senonida Rosas, ma'am. And of course, our Regional Director, Napolcom, Ma'am Juliet Ranyeses, our Deputy Regional Director for Administration, Police Brigadier General Sir Leo M. Francisco, other attendees of this CSOP Napolcom webinar, ma'am. True to the saying that police is the community and community is the police. We can actually, on the barometer of the services being rendered by the National Police, Philippine National Police, is being engaged by the community, not by our organization, really. So if the community is satisfied with our performance, that means that we are performing well. So allow me to start our briefing on the peace and order situation of Angeles City Police Office with comparative statistics from 2019 to 2020 and the best practices that we adopted and we are implementing right now on COVID-19. I am Police Colonel Joyce Patrick Bulaon Sanggalang, ma'am, the City Director of Angeles City Police Office. For the sequence of our presentation, it includes the peace and order situation and the best practices on anti-COVID-19. The crime situation in Angeles City Police Office will cover the period of January 1 to September 30, 2020. For the said period, ACPO recorded a total crime volume of 1,589 incidents, wherein 201 of which are index crime, 1,163 are non-index crimes, and 225 are public safety index crimes, RIRs, or what we call the reckless imprudence resulting to homicides or the vehicular accidents. For the comparative peace and order situation, during peace and order in January to September 30, 2020, with the same period last year, 2019, the total crime volume increased by 220 incidents, or 16%, primarily because of the increase in non-index crime as a result of police-initiated operations, especially with the implementation of the community quarantine. Specifically po, tumaas po yung ating non-index crime. Non-index crimes are the indicators that they are initiating police operations. For the crime this year, as mentioned a while ago, it increased by 400 incidents. And for the index crime, I'm sorry, ma'am, this year decreased by 129% incidents, or 39% as compared to the same period last year. For the non-index crimes, as mentioned a while ago, it increased by 400 incidents or 52%, which indicates a public positive. This is a positive indicator if we are increasing in non-index crime, because we are initiating police operations, while public safety index or the RIRs or vehicular accidents decreased by 51 incidents or 18%. For the comparative crime clearance and solution efficiency, out of 1,369 incidents from January 1 to September 30, 2019, and 1,092, or out of these 1,369, 1,092 were cleared, or it translates to 80% clearance efficiency. On the other hand, from January 1 to September 30, 2020, 1,445 incidents out of 1,589 total crimes were cleared, or we have 91%, thereby reflecting an increase in the crime clearance efficiency of 11%. On crime solution, in 2019 of the same period, 961 out of 1,369 incidents were solved, or 70%, comparing to this year's crime solution efficiency of 86%, wherein 1,375 out of 1,589 incidents were solved. There we have an increase of 16% in our crime solution efficiency. For our comparative index crimes, permission to continue. My apology for the technical problem. For our comparative index crimes, shown on the screen is the comparative distribution of index crimes for the period covered 2019 to 2020. For murder, we have an increase of one incident, or 11%. For the homicide, it decreased by 80%. For physical injuries, decreased by 6 incidents, or 33%. And for rape, we have a decrease of 4 incidents, or 30%. On crime against properties, robbery decreased by 20 incidents, or 30%. It can be attributed in the presence or maximum visibility of our police personnel outside manning our quarantine control points, and at the same time, the whole of Angeles City with the entrance and exits going to the city is being manned 24/7 by our quarantine control points or checkpoints. For physical injuries, it decreased by 6 incidents, or 33%. There's also a significant decrease by 50 incidents or 40% for theft, since we believe that development is criminogenic, although Angeles City is highly urbanized city. But during this pandemic, we can see, if we were able to visit Angeles City, it is not the same Angeles City before the pandemic and this time during we have this pandemic. And since we are implementing the curfew on minors, so we had a significant increase on theft incidents or crime against theft. For carnapping, we have only we have an increase of 9%, and for motor napping, we have a decrease of 49%. For the carnapping, these incidents were only reported on a late reporting basis. Kaya po, nire-refer po namin ito sa Highway Patrol Group, and the Highway Patrol Group will be the one. But the recording is still on our statistics. For the special index crime, we have recorded 2. But all of these special index crimes were cleared and solved after the reporting. We can see now the comparative non-index crimes flash on the screens, the comparative distribution for the same period. From 2019, we have recorded 175 non-index crimes. But during the same period now, 2020, we have recorded a total of 352 non-index crimes, that thereby reflecting an increase of 177 incidents or 101 incidents. Uulitin ko po, pag ang unit po natin ay tumataas ang non-index crime, that means that the police are working and there is an increase in police-initiated operations. For the traffic incidents, we have for the traffic incidents, we have a decrease of 51 incidents or 18%. And for the implementation of special laws, we have an increase by 213 incidents or 136%. For our violation of Republic Act 9165, it also increased by 10 operations. So we have from 2019, we conducted 432 anti-illegal drug operations. And for this same period covered this year, we conducted 442 anti-illegal drug operations. We can notice that the total confiscated illegal drugs for the DV value on 2019, we recorded 24,554,884.30 pesos. While in 2020, we increased 10 operations compared to the same period last year, but we have only confiscated amounting to 16,158,003 pesos. It indicates that for Angeles, we conducted more operations compared to last year, but we confiscated a lesser amount this year. That means there is really a decrease in the supply and demand of illegal drugs for the city during this same period covered. For our best practices on the prevention of on the anti-COVID-19 preventive measures undertaken by Angeles City Police Office, we started with this best practice during the pandemic, since many establishments or business establishments were closed. So we initiated, through the help of our stakeholders, and of course our City Mayor Mayor Carmelo Pogi Lasatin, Vice Mayor Vicky Vega, and Council, we distributed and initiated this project 555, wherein we have this 5 kilos of rice, 5 canned goods, and 5 noodles were distributed in different areas of Angeles cities. So we have this distribution of relief goods among the indigenous people of Sitio Target in Barangay Sapang Bato. We're 250 katutubong ITA benefited out of this distribution. And then together with our former regional director, Police Brigadier General Rodel O. Cermonia, we distributed 600 relief packs to hotel and bar workers who were displaced during the quarantine period. And in other vulnerable sectors, we have also distributed these relief goods. Another initiative in the prevention of COVID-19 is the posting of tarpaulins on the precautionary measures such as the social maintaining of social distancing, the wearing of face masks and face shields, and other general precautions for COVID-19. It was posted not only in our police stations or inside camps, we also posted same tarpaulins on the precautionary measures in other business establishments around the city. Then another posting of our health advisories in social media. We coordinated with our local radio and TV networks together with the Angeles City Public Information Office for the dissemination, massive dissemination of our precautionary measures on COVID-19. Then, of course, this is disinfection of our camps and offices. Ito po on a regular basis with the help of our ACDR-RMO. We have this twice a month or as needed once a week for free. It's being done by our City Health Office. Yun din pong mga mobile patrols natin dahil hindi naman po kami sigurado sa mga nahuhuli namin at sinasakay namin sa ating mga mobile patrols. We also conduct or have this regular disinfection of mobile patrol cars just to be sure or as needed after transporting some persons under police custody going to the court or going to the detention facilities, ini-spray na po namin dahil mobile patrol vehicle. And for this practice inside the offices of our police stations and inside camps, if I'm not mistaken, we are the first one who initiated this during the ECQ. We put acetate barriers on all our table offices within the station levels and our compacts or our police pads. Hindi na po nakaka-direct yung ating mga clientels face-to-face with our police officers. Because as we all know that there are some police officers who were infected also by COVID-19, and I think we have already 37 po yata, if I'm mistaken, who succumbed to death because of the COVID-19 infection. So lahat po ng mga tables namin, meron na pong acetate. And some were glasses. And the application of our locally instructed individuals and the indispensable travelers were already set up outside the police station or in front of our police station, so that not all the applicants will be coming in, and we have this scheduling of our applicants for the locally stranded individual and indispensable travel passes. And of course, it is not only the officers who were shielded with this acetate or barricades. Our mobile patrols inside and outside the back-to-back of our pickup were also set with these acetates as separators. Kasi yung mga police officers natin, hindi naman po sila isang pinanggagalingan. They, after their duty, they go home, and then the following day they go back to their respective police station. So it is better for them during the conduct of police patrolling na meron na rin po silang separator inside our police office. The police mobile patrol. We have also involved our barangay enforcement teams and yung barangay health and emergency response teams in the conduct of contact tracing. This is one of the most difficult tasks that were given to the PNP and the local government, since sometimes the close contacts of our positive COVID-19 patients cannot be located or cannot be identified. So lahat po ng opisina natin, I think even the malls and the hospitals or other establishments, we're having this logbook for contact tracings. Kung papasok po kayo sa office namin, you need to register. And some were complaining why is it they were not allowed to visit our detainees or the persons under police custody. So we just explained to them that it's really hard to allow all visitors. Even the district jails are not allowing visitors anymore. To make sure that nobody will be infected. Napakahirap po kasi pag ang isang detainee natin ang na-infect, masikip lang po ang ating mga detention facilities. So with the contact tracings, there's the barangay enforcement team or the barangay patrollers really performed well and augmented our police contact tracers in going to the barangays or checking on the phone numbers of our close contacts. Kumisan po, in-engage na lang namin sila sa Viber din nila to check kung ano po ang indicators dahil sila ay isa sa mga close contacts nung nag-positive. With the help of our city health officials and of course our ACD-RRMO, we were able to have a good contact tracing with the for the prevention of possible infection. And our city LGU for our PUIs and PUM, meron po silang ginawang isang isolation facility. It is a school, yung po City Colleges of Angeles, wherein the PUMs and PUIs, pag may indicators po, ay doon na po agad in-isolate for free. And then our Rafael Lacetin Memorial Medical Center, who is catering for COVID-19 positive, has increased their bed capacities just to accommodate our positive COVID-19 patients with the initiative of our city mayor, of course, Mayor Carmelo Pogila sa team. Hindi po kami nahihirapan kung meron kami mga patients or meron kaming mga close contacts or PUIs that needs to be isolated. And for our positive that needs to be treated, doble po yung bed capacity. They even initiated ito po mga container vans, makeshift bed capacities nilagyan po nila ng air condition itong mga container vans, and very suitable for our COVID-19 patients. Aside from the increase in bed capacities of our hospitals here in Angeles. And since the start of this COVID-19 po, we requested to the city government of Angeles, of course, to protect also our police personnel. Dahil kung may frontliners po sa mga hospitals, isa po sa mga frontliners naman sa kalsada ay ating mga kapulisan. And it was approved by the council and Mayor Lasatin. So we had this rapid test last May 5, all police personnel po ng Angeles. And it is again for free. Then we have this second rapid test conducted here at the covered court of Angeles City Police Office. Again, all personnel last June 25 to 26. Then, I think mali lang po yung date kanina ng rapid test, I'm sorry. Swab test po ulit noong June 25 to 26. 600 personnel, police personnel, to include our maintenance and other support units, all located in Angeles City Police Office camp. Ay sinwab test po for free lahat po. Fortunately, the Philippine Red Cross Molecular Laboratory headed by Sir Luciano Paras Jr. in-approve po nila ito for the sponsorship of our massive swab testing. And wala pong nag-positive sa Angeles City Police Office kahit isa during the conduct of this swab test. Angeles City Police Office contributed 22 police nurses to augment the ito pong ating Rafael Lasatin Memorial Medical Center, which is admitting COVID-19 positive patients. So they requested to augment them with our police nurses. Kaya may nag-duty puro na 11 and 11. So 22 po lahat ang nag-duty as police nurses. But prior to their dispatch or deployment to the hospital, we have this seminar on the proper oropharyngeal swabbing conducted po dito sa Pampanga and Angeles to prepare our police nurses in doing their new task and new mission. Aside from their anti-criminality functions, they will be performing augmentations to nurses at the Rafael Lasatin Memorial Medical Center in admitting COVID-19 positive patients and assisting the medical practitioners of Rafael Lasatin Memorial Medical Center. And then we have this on May 8, 2020, our Chief Intelligence Branch or the team leader for the contact tracing team as designated and directed. So we have this contact tracing seminar via Zoom, participated by our intelligence personnel and all the station commanders of this office. Conducted by Ma'am Rosana Rosel, the representative from the Department of Health of Region 3, via Zoom teleconference. Then we have also this last September 12 and 19. We have this contact tracing e-system naman po, e-system training, wherein 56 personnel of ACPO represented from the City Health Office, from the ACD-RRMO, the BHERDs, or what we call the BHERD Barangay Health Emergency Response Team, and members of the Bureau of Fire Protection was conducted in this with the methodology of contact tracing, the cognitive interview techniques, and the COVID-19 incident management workflow the GS platform, and the analytic tool analysis. Ito po yung nanggaling sa Baguio kung saan in-apply po ng ating butihing mayor na si Sir Benji Magalong. And it was already cascaded down here in Region 3 and down to our police provincial offices and city provincial offices. That ends my presentation. Sana po meron po kaming na-share sa mga ibang best practices that we initiated and still being implemented right now by the Angeles City Police Office. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Stay safe and God bless po. Thank you.
Salamat po, City Director Sanggalang, for a very comprehensive presentation. Nakikita po natin na ang CSOP is actually already being practiced in Angeles City. Kailangan po talaga ang pagtutulungan ng lahat para po malagpasan natin ang pagsubok na ito. It's been a little more than 4 years since we met our speaker this morning, as he was introduced to us when he was appointed as Napolcom Commissioner in 2016. My first impression of him was a serious, no-nonsense boss who was very clear on what changes he wanted to initiate for Napolcom's betterment. He belongs to the Philippine Military Academy Masikap class of 1977, wherein he graduated one of the top students as he was a consistent member of the Deans and Commandants list. During his years in the Philippine National Police, he served as director of the Directorate for Integrated Police Operations, Western Mindanao. He also was Regional Director of Police Regional Office 12 and Director of the Special Action Force, and he also became the Provincial Director of Bulacan Provincial Office. His expertise in police operations and preventing and countering violent extremism have been beefed up by the various international and local specialization trainings. He also served as representative of the Philippines in a number of counterterrorism conferences and initiatives like those conducted in Indonesia, Baghdad, Iraq, Singapore, Australia, and Vienna, Austria. Upon retirement from the PNP, he served as Executive Director of the Philippine Center on Transnational Crime, or PCTC, and he also headed the Secretariat of the National Central Bureau, Manila Interpol. Because of his trainings and experiences as police officer, he is one of the sought-after speakers of preventing and countering violent extremism and community and service-oriented policing system. His experience-based lectures brings the concept of CSOP at the operational and tactical levels. Hindi siya mga konsepto na nakalutang sa hangin pagka po si Sir ang nagsalita. Very relatable para sa mga pulis natin sa ground. He focuses on what the individual police officers can and need to do to imbibe CSOP. On a much lighter note, kilala rin po natin siya na may maraming aliases. Coco Martin, Dingdong Dantes, and Tom Cruise. So friends, please welcome the Debonair Commissioner of Napolcom, Commissioner Felizardo Manalo Serapio Jr. Sir, nakamute kayo, sir. Sir, please unmute your mic.
Okay, good morning. Maraming salamat, Donna. I was really humbled by your introduction. Lagi kayong maniwala kay Donna, pero ngayong araw na ito, huwag kayong maniwala dyan. Binubola lang kayo niyan. But anyway, am I okay already? Can you hear me? Okay. Of course, Napolcom, PNP, and LGU, Pangiles. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Well, anyway, I have to proceed to the kasi mukhang maigsi lang naman ito, mga 3 oras ata ito. Pero iksian lang natin. Okay. Anyway, of course, community service-oriented policing, I didn't know na nandiyan na pala si Patrick, ha? At saka si Leo, nandiyan na pala. Hindi ko na naalaan na namomonitor itong dalawang ito eh. But at any rate, of course, I don't know with the LGUs if they still know me there. I was assigned there and I will say something about it later dun sa briefing ko. Okay? Uh, about my experience there in Angeles City. But without much ado, I just would like to start with this, no? Sinabi na kanina, no, na CSOP is already 5 years in the making, and I believe that some of you were involved here. In fact, yan sila Donna na yan, Juliet, no, the Napolcom are here, no, or there now right now with us. I think they participated in crafting this CSOP, no. And for 5 or 4 years now, ini-implement na natin itong CSOP. But I just would like to emphasize that ang CSOP po natin ay ginagawa na katulad ngayon sa Angeles. Sabi nga ni Donna, ginagawa na ninyo ito. Pero doon sa ating policing strategy, hindi masyado na-highlight yung service-oriented. Later on, I will explain what is service-oriented. It's oriented policing. So, malalaman natin ang rationale behind this. But of course, this is 9 years old already, 9 years old. No? Hindi yung 5 years for implement, four, I would say, more than 4 years. Then this implementation contains best practices that will give you other options, no, in operationalizing the system. Other options, because the best options is kayo na sa ground, alam niyo yan, no? I think nobody can question you about that. But who knows, no? Katulad na ngayon na present ng Angeles, best practices, baka ma-pick up ng iba yan, no? So here are some best practices and to give you other options just in case naubusan kayo, ganun, okay? And some of the reference might not be updated dito, no? I will be showing some references that are not updated, but for emphasis, pinlas ko na rin. But most of which came from open sources na, no? So may mga terrorism tayo dito, insurgency, open sources na yung karamihan doon. And then of course, my examples will focus on criminality, insurgency, terrorism, public safety, and the pandemic, no? Mga samples ko, mag-pick up ako dito, no? Hindi na lang lahat, no, but just samples from these five concerns. And then of course, this presentation does not intend to demean any organizations or congregations, but again, mami-mention lang sila for emphasis, no, for emphasis. And this is not just a presentation, by the way, but this is a sharing, no. Yung inyong ginawa kaninang briefing is a sharing for us, no. It's orientation for us is how is Angeles right now as far as peace and order and public safety is concerned. And it could be a reflection too on your part, in our part, and a challenge. It will be a challenge for you, okay? So with that, let me start with the outline, no? This will be the outline. Ang apat po ito, no? Isa is psychological factor underlying criminal behavior. Pasensya na po kayo dito, mahaba-haba tayo dito because I think this is the foundation, no? Ito yung ugat, no? This is the rationale behind not only of CSOP but even the legal basis of CSOP. So mukhang babalikan lang natin to, mabilis-bilis lang naman to pero mahaba-haba lang yung kanyang portion. And then of course, the CSOP framework, dito sa framework natin, operational concept. No, very, very important. Operational concept and the elements, which is the triumvirate. No? Titingnan natin yan. And then of course, we will do some practical tips, but these practical tips will be under the workshop requirements already, no? So, gagawa kami ng practical tips muna and then we go to the workshop, no? So, this is the best practices, yung practical tips, the best practices. With that, again, I would like to start my briefing, and I would like to start this with this, with a statement of Mother Teresa. No? Alam mo, dyan sa Angeles, may Santa Teresa dyan di ba? Marami akong operations dyan Maraming UG houses dyan dati. Pero anyway, Mother Teresa, no? And I think she was a living saint. She is called the living saint, no, nung buhay pa siya. Now, she is a saint now, okay? At the end, sabi niya, at the end of our lives, we will not be judged by how many diplomas we have received, how much money we have made, or how many great things we have done. We will be judged by I was hungry and you gave me to eat. I was naked and you clothed me. I was homeless and you took me in. Madadagdagan pa nga ito minsan And I was sick and you took care of me. No? And I was in prison. You visited me. The 7 corporal works of mercy. Di ba? Yan ang sabi niya, no? And ladies and gentlemen, if you read in between the lines, he was talking about, how we can see the purpose in life. No? At the end of our lives, sabi niya you will be judged. So ito yung purpose, sabi niya siguro, no? It's not the material things, sabi niya. Sabi niya, it's about doing something. It's about giving something sa basic needs ng tao. I was hungry. That's food. Clothing, di ba? Sabi niya, basic needs ng tao. Doon kayo the judge. Sabi niya, not your diploma, not your riches. No? Yun, the judge ka. Ladies and gentlemen, if we look at this, no, on the perspective of what we're talking now also, it has a message. This is about root cause ng crime. Because, root cause. If there will be hunger, if there will be many homeless, crime follows. Root cause. Ladies and gentlemen, if we solve this, then we can prevent crimes. Crime prevention. It's very basic, but it's very important. But if in the process of giving basic services, that is service. To serve, sabi niya, to serve. Okay? Now with that, let me start my presentation. So as what I've said, psychological factors underlying criminal behaviors, alam na po natin to, alam po natin lahat ng police, recruit pa lang kayo, nandito na yung general approach ng crime prevention, at sabi nila, crime prevention can be removed, crime can be prevented by removing the intent to commit crimes. Yeah? Very, very simple. Kung walang intention, walang crime. And the second one is address the resources needed to commit the crime. This is the tools. No, kailangan may tools ka, may tao ka. Human resources is also needed. Baka kailangan 3 kayo, 2 kayo to commit that crime. So baril is a tool. No, so you need the tool. But if you have the tool, if you have the intent, but if you do not have the opportunity, then you cannot commit the crime. There is no crime. Okay? So, yung 3, RAD. But of course, we know that the most important thing is the intent. They're all important, but the intent. Okay? Because if there is already the opportunity, there are the tools. Ayan. Now, once that there is the intent now, ito yung tinatawag na phase ng crime, then you start what? Look at this, Look at this. Yun. Mobilization is the what? Tools, resources, training, skills, Mobilization yan, second. And then, of course, the last is, then if you are finished with this, mobilizations, then you do the action. Now, let me now concentrate on the criminal intent and radicalizations or whatever. This is about the mind. So, when we talk of CSOP, it's about the mind. Kahit nasa implementary, it's about the mind. No? So it's very important to understand the psychological factors. And I know that you know this already. Kaya bibilisan lang natin to. Okay? Okay, next slide please. So, when we talk of psychology of crime, let's go back to Maslow hierarchy of needs. No? Meron daw 4 na needs ang tao, di ba? Sabi nila, 4 na needs ang tao. First is the physiological needs, yung pinakita ko sa inyo. Yung sabi ni Mother Teresa. Okay? Food, shelter, clothing, sex, etc., etc. Ito ang initial, ito ang laging iniisip ng tao. Ayan, dapat meron ako niyan. Okay? These are the physiological needs of men. No? And sometimes men, others have more than this already, but if I have this already, then I go to the security needs. Dapat hindi mawala sa akin to. Dapat ma-maintain ko ito. No? Kasi kung mawala sa akin ito, then I go back to the physiological needs. And security needs includes what? Security mo, hindi lang yung tuloy-tuloy akong magkaroon nito dahil sa kayod ko. But hindi dapat ako manakawan. Ha? So, that's why security ng bahay. So, minsan makita mo mga bahay, may bakod. Di ba? So, security needs, no? It's very, very important. Secure dapat ako. Okay? So, when people started na, uy, meron ng quarantine, marami nagtao, ala, punta na doon sa grocery. Ha? Baka maubusan tayo ng pagkain. Security needs. Very important. And then if we have the security needs, already we have the physiological needs, security needs, then we go to the social needs. This is the esteem, acceptance by others. Okay? Okay na ako sa aking mga physiological needs. Kailangan ma-accept ako ng tao. Okay? Member of an organization dapat ako. So maraming organizations, doon tayo, sumasali tayo dyan. But others sometimes use their preponderance of their physiological needs to be accepted. Yun naman ang negative side. Pinapakita ng tao na to be accepted, no? Kaya but there is the positive side, no? No man is right. Kaya ngayong pandemic, makita ninyo, ang laki ng problema talaga. Ang laki ng problema niyan. Why? Because no man is an island. Tago mo siya sa isang lugar, kung nag-iisa na yan, nako, patay kang bata ka. No? And of course, the dynamics ng buong mundo is like this. You belong to an organization, you belong to an office, you belong to a sect, you belong to a religion, may barkada. So this is very important. But there is a positive and a negative. Okay? And then of course, self-actualizations, which means that baliwala na yun sa baba. I am self-actualized. Baliwala na yun sa baba. Mother Teresa. Okay? Yung sabi ni Mother Teresa. Because kung hindi ka mag-graduate dyan sa self-actualization na yan, then yung social needs mo, security needs mo, saka yung physiological needs mo, alam mo, ang tawag mo dyan, you become greedy. Okay? Yung social needs mo will be transformed to power. So these are the negative things. Okay? Negative things. So with that, alam na niyo yan. So let's look at this now. No? Physiological needs. So look at this now. Okay? You see, nakita ninyo yung pamilya na yan. Okay? See? So here you can see food. No? Water, no? That's the needs. Yan ang number 1. Shelter nga, baliwala eh. Pero wala silang shelter dito sa right portion. No? Makita niyo yan. They need to eat every day. Maghahanap na lang yan kung saan sila titira kung wala silang shelter. But shelter is very important. Kahit ano ng itsura, kahit tabi-tabi na. Very important. You can see in the left side. No? They will, ako, when I graduated, I want to build my home, my house. And I'll make that a home. There's a difference between home and house. Okay? O, ganun yun, no? Shelter. And look at this. Healthcare. Tingnan mo yung tsura niyan. Ewan ko. I don't know if they will still have access to healthcare. Huh? Kung saan-saan sila titira. No? Ah, I just can't imagine, no? Kung alam nila ano yung PhilHealth na yan. No? Education, sus, lalo na. Social protection. You know, huh? You look at that. Social protection and belongingness. You look at the backside. We do not belong there. Yung doon naman sa backside, they do not belong here. Belongingness. Esteem. Acceptance. No? Andiyan na yung pantay-pantay. No? Paano yun? Hirap. No? So, this is a picture of the physiological needs ng tao. The state of physiological needs. No? Merong ganito. Hindi pala pare-pareho. Okay, next slide please. So here you can see, walang pambayad. Pinaalis. Doon na lang sa daan nagkaroon ng kanyang bahay. And you look at the wall at the back. We do not belong in the other side of that wall. You do not belong here. Sabi naman nung nandun, nakatira dun sa kabila. Okay? So they belong there. And when they start living there, they started violating city ordinance or the law. Okay? Next slide. Tingnan mo ito. Sex. Alam mo, sabi ng ano sa atin, 1 million ata at a year tayo, anak natin, mga anak dito sa ang babies a year dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, dahil sa additional 214 extra babies. Sus Maria Josep. That is, and later on I will show you ano ang implication nito sa crimes. No? Implication nito sa crimes. Okay? Next slide, please. Look at this, no? Psychology of crimes. My needs, my dream, and my family. Okay, tingnan mo. Tingnan mo ito, sa Facebook, no? 15 years old boy who was photographed studying. It's my dream. I need to study. Study para maangat ako dito sa aking status ngayon. Para I will have STEAM later on. I will have my physiological needs. I have a dream. And my way to my dream is education. Pero bukas yon. Ngayon, trabaho ako. Studying while on break from selling balut. Okay? Julius dream of becoming a police officer someday. But for now, he has the responsibility of helping. Tiyan mo, ano yan? Provide for his 8 siblings. His family remain as his inspiration. Remember that. The importance of family. You will have a dream, but the family will always be there. You will have needs, but the family will always be there. And if you see the picture nung kanina, they were there together as family. Nandun yung mga bata, nandun yung but they were there. That's how important the family is. We have our needs. We will have our dreams to improve our life condition. But we will always take into consideration our family. Well, that's Filipino. Next slide. Ecology of crime, very important. And look at this, si Andy. Andy in most days operates pedicab ferrying commuters where he usually earn 100 pesos a day. Less than 100 pesos. He spent it on medicine of his father. Pamilya ka gano, father who has heart troubles. And food for his 2 younger siblings. Pagkain pa yung 100 or less than 100 gamot ng tatay, yan, para sa pagkain pa nila. However, yan. Earning a 200 pesos per transaction tempted him to join the illegal drug trade. Malaki-laki ito eh. Kinulang-kulang na ako eh. Dito na ako. Ano pa yan? His classmates were also in similar trades, including prostitution. Some of my girl classmates, they allow themselves to be touched, caressed, and they get paid for it, he said. Beginning of a crime. Introduction of crime sa ating mind. Okay? Very important. Very important. Very important. Okay, next slide. Pinili kong maghukbo kaysa makipagsapalaran sa syudad kasi nung nag-try ako doon, marami ko naririnig, pati ako siguro, nagkaroon ako ng experience, maraming kabataan, kababaihan, nakatulad kong galing sa probinsya, inaabuso at tinalipin doon. Gusto ko, may dreams ako. Ang dreams ko supposed to be, makamit ko lang doon, pagtrabaho ko doon sa syudad. Hindi ako pwede doon. May kailangan din ako, no? Ang dreams ko para yung pangangailangan ko makamit ko para sa pamilya ko. Hindi ko makuha yon dahil siguro bulok itong gobyerno natin. Wala akong opportunity, wala akong access. Hukbo na lang ako. Di ba? Isolation. Belongingness. I do not belong to this type of society run by this government. I feel isolated. I feel not needed them. They do not serve my needs. Next slide. Jalil, patay ito. Weeks before the Marawi incident, kung makita ninyo dyan sa Sarangani, pinicturan yung mga maute dyan, mga kila Islamia dyan. 1 week before yung doon sa Marawi, may training yan. Hindi nga natin na-monitor yun. Na-monitor pa sa internet sa Great Britain, sa London. No? British intelligence give it to us. Pak! May na-monitor kami. Usus! Saan yan? Pilipinas yan. Gumagapang sila. Nag-training doon. Si Jalil isa doon. Bakit siya nagano? In return for meals and 15,000 per month. Pero habang nagtitraining siya, weapons, combat, and ISIS indoctrination. This is what? The jihadi Wahhabism indoctrination. ISIS. Next slide. Ito, tingnan mo. Ray has committed a string of offenses since she was 10. I was wanted for stealing more than 5 chicken and a motorbike, said the 16-year-old, who went on to commit crimes, more serious crimes like robbing homes with his friends. Emboldened by having avoided capture, hindi siya nahuli. And influenced by his friend, he started taking drugs from weeds to shabu. Look at this. Look at the family. Doon sa lower portion. Ray came from a troubled background. His mother abandoned him when he was a baby. His father is an alcoholic. STEAM, my first group, my first organization, which is the family, abandoned me. Did not give me my needs. Destroyed my dreams. Doon ako sa barkada ko. Ang loyalty ko sa barkada ko na, ayun, nasugsog na sa drugs. Kalokohan na. And if you will see now sa TV, sa YouTube, karamihan ng mga mobsters nang galing dyan. Galing dyan. No? So you see environment. And again, here, needs, dreams, and family. Dito nauna ang family, oh. Tinamaan siya ng family niya. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very empathic on this. Because later on, sa crime prevention aspect, hindi ko trabaho yan. Trabaho ko yan kung si Ray magnakaw na lang. Trabaho ko na yan. At kung may magsumbong, at kung merong witness, that is not preventive. That is not prevention. Okay? And we're talking about CSOP as a preventive strategy, policing strategy. Okay? Let's look at this. Let's look at it. Next slide, please. Ito talaga. Norman Lusaka was about 17 when he ran from 2014 because his father constantly beat him. Pamilya na naman. Nakita lang siya noong 2019. Patay na. The first suicide bomber, Filipino suicide bomber. Nung naglaya siya, pumunta na naman siya sa grupo. Ang grupo niya in-endorse siya sa Abu Sayyaf. Di ba? Ang mga grupo niya. Pasok na siya. It's about the mind. Na-develop na. So it's very important. So makita mo yung hierarchy of needs. First group, family. Acceptance, belongingness. Wala ako. Wala pamilya ko. Takbo ko. Hanap pa rin ako para magkaroon ako ng belongingness. Hanap ako para magkaroon ng relevance ang buhay ko. Okay, yan nangyari. And look at that, Norman Lasuka. Hindi yan Muslim name, ha? That is a Christian. Apelido ng Christian. Di ba? Bakit nakaganon yan? Tatay niya dati, siguro, sundalo. Marami ako. I was assigned there. Ang dami sa mga sundalo ko yun. Nabuntisan yung mga babae doon. Ang tagal na. Kay sex. Di ba? Physiological needs. Ayun, nabuntisan. Pag alis doon, iniwan. Ayun ay siguro yung mga anak niya, mga tatay niya yung anak o whatever, di ba? Meron na siyang matanim na galit sa tatay, sa original tatay niya. Yung paglaki niya, bakit na ganito ang apelido ko? Kasi tatay mo, iniwan ka eh. So here you can see it's, kunik-kunikta mo yan. Mind. Something we cannot see. But there are a lot of developments inside that will connect dito sa isang crime na nangyari na yan. Okay? Next slide, please. When I was provincial director of Bulacan, dito, yung Muson na yan, at saka yung Norsagaray na yan. Diyan, yung illegal, yung mga settlers dito, mga informal settlers sa Manila, diyan pinapunta. Bibigyan kayo ng bahay dyan, shelter. Anak ng tinawag, wala naman tubig. Anak ng tinawag, wala naman akong trabaho. Wala naman kuryente. Lahat na, physiological, kuryente, sex ka agad yan. Di ba? Di ba? Anyway, let's be honest about it. No? So, hindi kagad sila nabigyan dyan. No? So, what happened? So, lahat ng subdivision dyan, paikot dyan. Ninakawan. Kasama na ang bahay ko 3 beses. Diyan ako nakatira eh. Surrounding subdivision. See? The environment really is what? A big influence para ma-develop yung intent. Okay? Intent. Next slide. Community, indigenous people. Yun, sa Agusan. Yun, sa yung center of gravity ng New People's Army. Yung mga katutubo doon. Katutubo ako from Davao. Bagubo. Hindi makaabot ang edukasyon. So, nung pag-operate doon, nakita yung kanilang mga eskwelahan, ay hindi Presidente Digong ang makita na picture. Kay Kay Yuma, picture doon sa classroom. Ha? Si Mao Zedong nandoon. Ha? Iba. Di ba? Services. Services. Hindi nakarating. Merong papalit. Okay, merong papalit. Okay, next slide please. Look at this one. Pandemic. Itong si Jamida, 28 fish vendors sa Caloocan City. Tiyangin na, hindi umuwi. Hindi siya umuwi. Nag-alala ang pamilya. Nakita nila nandoon sa jail. Bakit na jail? Bakit? Kasi walang valid quarantine pass sa Nabutas. Pero bakit siya nahuli? Kasi lumabas pa rin siya. Lumabas siya kahit bawal na siguro para makabili ng isda at mabenta ang isda para ang kita niya mapakain niya. Survival. Ang greatest fear niya ay hindi niya mapakain ang kanyang pamilya. Bahala na ang valid quarantine pass na yan. Tingnan mo, he will just comply. Tingnan mo ang kanyang face mask. Face mask supposed to be para hindi ka mapasukan ng virus o ma-infect ka. Pero ang face mask niya, dumi-dumi, baka hindi COVID pero ibang sakit ang makuha niya dyan. Pero he will comply. Kasi sabi, mag-face mask kayo o mag-face mask ako. Pero hanggang doon sa kaya ko lang na face mask. Yung kaya ko lang ma-comply. Gentlemen, we have to, this community, community tayo, community policing. You just have to understand the community, the person, no? Next slide. Ganon din itong mag-ama na ito. Okay, next slide. Ganon din. Hanap din ng pagkain, okay? So here, if you look at poverty, ito yan, top 10. Wala dyan ang Central Luzon. Ito, bigger picture na ito. Ito yung mga dito. Aywan ko kung tama pa ba ito ngayon. Hindi ko 2018 pa ito pero kinuha lang natin yan. Sa internet, sasabi na statistics. Tingnan mo. What happened here? Tingnan mo. Ayan. Organize ang laban dyan. Si PNPA, mga Abu Sayyaf, mga diba, poorest areas, there is a problem. Alam mo dyan sa Angeles right now, swerte talaga, look at Angeles now. Sa puris ng Angeles. You are the least, one of the better region in PS poverty incident among the population. So, yun yung panahon ko dyan. Nakaw. Maniwala kayo. Ang CPPNP, ang Mariano Garcia Brigade dyan, ang tumaas ng antas ng labanan dyan. Nasa tinatawag na silang counter-urban, urban terrorism na sila niyan. Nag-i-enter na ang military sa urban center. From Kanayunan, sa bayan. Grabe dyan. Si Colonel Signy, yung Metro Discom commander dyan, hindi na umaalis ng combat boots eh. Si Governor Spino. When we were there, ano ang sitwasyon dyan? Lumiit ang mundo. Bakit ang dami nilang dispersal areas? Komunidad na, pagpasok ko dyan, NPA zone. Puto. Sabi ko, naku, ano, grabe ito. They have the mass base. The community believes in them or are afraid. They have all the resources there when I was there. But of course, when you look at the physiological needs ng tao doon, there was really a problem. Sa Pambato, punta ka dyan sa Kutkot na yan, punta ka dyan sa, kahit na doon sa market areas na yon ng Angeles, you can still see some problems there. Communities. Doon sila nagtatago. Okay? Next slide, please. Ngayon, mabuti na lang. Wala na. Next slide, please. But, ladies and gentlemen, poverty rate seems to rise this year. We don't know. We are still threatened by the pandemic. and we are forced. We have to balance everything. No? Kaya nakita mo yan, nakita natin ang briefing na yan. Talagang ina-isolate talaga natin as much as possible an individual para hindi mawisikan ng COVID virus. Huh? Poverty rate seems to rise this year. And what is very peculiar dito ngayon is level ang playing field. Tatamaan ka kay mayaman ngayon, bagsak ang negosyo eh. Karamihan eh. Ha? Marami ang taong magkakaroon ng needs. Okay, I mean, let's look at this, no? Let's look at this because sunod pag maraming needs, hindi na dating yan sa kanila. Crime follows. Okay, next slide please. So with that, we have to understand fear and survival of the community, fear and survival of an individual. Very important because that is the first letter sa ating strategy. Letter C, community. We have to understand that. Okay? Next slide, please. And that is community and service-oriented policing system. As you see, the community must get the service, the needs they like. Incidentally, hindi lahat ng services na yan kaya ng police ibigay. Kaya kailangan ng sama-sama ng isang approach. At later on, makikita natin yan, ang nagbabaton dyan ay ang local executive, chief executive. That includes ang local executives, yung iba-ibang ahensya ng gobyerno sa lugar. Okay, later on we will explain. Okay, with that, let me show you this. This is the legal basis, and I think you know this already. We have the 6975. So 16175, it's very clear na hindi lang tayo sa peace and order, but ensure public safety and sa mga ating local executives na present. Strengthen local government capability aimed towards the effective delivery of basic services to the citizenry. Kasi pag wala yung basic service, the needs will have a problem sa needs. Hanap ng ibang paraan yan. Okay? Nung ginawa ng RA 8551, hindi na nilagay yung local government capability ng basic services. Service-oriented agency na tayo. Bakit tumutulong na tayo sa other agencies who are giving basic services? Okay? Yun ang ibig sabihin. That's why, noon pa man, ginagawa na ng PNP, nakalimutan yung service-oriented. And I will show you, almost all agencies and almost all disciplines, government disciplines now, are using the whole of the nation approach, which is on our parlang CSOP. Okay? Next slide, please. So makita niyo yan. There was a Napolcom issuance. No? There is a resolution already. Natapos na yung study which you made. And there was in 2015, ginawa na yan for implementation ng 2016. Kaya 4 years na tayo nag-i-implement ito. Okay? Next slide, please. So of course, this system is ground-oriented. City, municipal, wala nga probinsya eh. Doon tayo mag-concentrate. Kaya mahirap mga substation, barangay, group of barangay. No? We want that. We want it focus sa ground. Iba-iba yan. Ang tendency ng central kasi uniformity. Ito hindi. Ano yung presence sa ground? Nakaano yan. Naka-adjust yan doon. Naka-align. Kung ano yun. Meron mo ng PNP noon. Mag-decide yung krami. Ako, panahon namin to. Sa inyo siguro hindi na. Lahat dapat may sasakyan, lahat. Putyak. Pumunta ako dun sa Basilan. Nakita ko yung isang Mahindra doon. Nandoon pa rin sa Bungaw. O bakit nandiyan yung sa silangkan na sasakyan? Bakit nandyan, sir? Wala man daan doon doon sa lugar na yan? Bakit binigyan ng sasakyan? See? Dapat doon bangka o motorsiklo. But if we are focused on the ground, city, municipality, barangay, then we know kung ano talaga ang dapat dyan. Okay? So, next slide, please. So, here is a very important, the operational concept. No? Operational concept. No? Bibilisan natin to konti, pero mababa ito, pero maraming picture, pero bilisan lang natin to. Operational concept. No? Number one is non-traditional policing. The preventive, it employs non-traditional policing. Ang natin traditional policing dito is yung hagdanan, after that yung hagdanan natin. Non-traditional policing, look at this, non-traditional policing. No? Operational concept na, no? Okay. Tayo kanina, yung briefing ninyo, types of crimes, focus crime, di ba? So may non-index crime kayo. And one of the non-index crimes is what? Special laws, di ba? Traffic, di ba? Ganon. So let's just see some samples here, no? Makita niyo yan. Next slide, please. Non-index crime niyo, pinakita niyo ito. Index crime niyo, pinakita niyo ito kanina, di ba? And everything. Wow, bumababa lahat, no? But of course, in this index crime, there is one na tools na nagagamit ngayon, which is the cyber intervention. Yun ang hinihintay ko. Sir, wala yan sa national guidelines eh. Pero, pag commander ako nung, pero ito lahat sir, naapektuhan na ito ng cyber. Kailangan namin ng cyber forensic dito ngayon. Ganun na. Out of the box. Tingnan mo ang rape. Tingnan mo ang rape. Tingnan mo rape. Tingnan mo. Dalagita sa Facebook. Nadali. Sabi, we have, no, karamihan ng cyber, no, hindi nag-report kayo. Nahiya talaga. Kasi pag naluko ka sa internet o sa yung ang tawag sa'yo, tanga. Marami akong nalaman yan. Kanina lang may nag-text na naman sa akin kalokohan. Humihingi na naman ng load. Hindi ko kilala. So these are little cyber which the community now is now affected. At hindi nagsasalita yan. But if we can intervene without them saying it, guwapo ka. Later on, I will explain. Okay? Next slide, please. So look at this. Ito yung mga special crimes. Special laws. Human trafficking, illegal drugs, illegal possession of firearms. No, sample. Even insurgency and terrorism. Kaya tayo may human security arts sa terrorism because criminalizing terrorism. And then, pumasok na yung insurgency doon. Kasi terrorist sila. Diba? Kasi inalis na yung PD 1700 eh. Diba? So yung rebellion, kasama rin naman yan sa sa crimes, rebellion eh. Pero sa special law, yung terrorism, pasok na yan. Okay? So I will show you insurgency at saka terrorism. I-click lang natin yan sandali. Okay? Let's look at this. So makita natin ito. Tingnan mo. Bilisan na lang natin. Yung dalawang yan, about the mind din yan. Di ba? This is about ideology. Na? At kung sino yung pinakamagaling na ideology, maraming followers yan. Minsan, mas kunti pa sila, mas delikado pa sila. Because their level of what? Advocacy sa belief, level of belief nila ay grabe. They're willing to die. Kaya nga sa mga kanta natin, anang mamatay ng dahil sa iyo because that's the highest service. Sa kanila, tingnan mo Marawi. Puta, pakamatay sila dun. Ha? O, tayo, tago-tago muna kasi baka may snipe. Di ba? But you know, kanjunin mo muna. Baka, para sure ball. But them, grabe. Okay, so this is a war of ideology, and whoever has superior idea will win over the other. It does not mean physical victory. The ideology will not die. Dapat mas malakas, mas superior ang ideology natin. We as a police must be able to translate these interactions, our belief, our ideology sa kanila. We have the capability. Kasi tayo nasa baba eh. Doon tayo sa barangay, sa streets. Okay, next slide. So here, let's look at the communist. Okay? Nako. 1930 pa, dyan, sabihin ko sa iyo sa Angeles niyan, dyan ang laro. Kaya si Bilog nga, siguro dyan rin nahuli yan. Tagal-tagal na yung Bilog na yan eh. Mag-ano na ata yan eh, di ba? Tagal na. O yan, Angeles dyan, dyan nag-umpisa ng ano na yan. Naku, sa Pampanga na yan. Dahil lang hook, balahap na yan, nandyan, lahat yan. Kaya pag pumutok ang Pampanga, you just can imagine the line of thinking ng mga kababayan natin dyan. Grabe yan. Di ba? Patay sindi ang ano yan eh. Ano di ba? Hook. CPPNP, alam ng mga kababayan. Yung mga nakinig sa atin dyan, alam, nandyan ako, naabutan ko pa eh. Once nang needs dyan at merong, putya. Ricardo, kaya ako nung nandyan ako, sabi ko, mayabang ako noon eh. Wala nang insurgency dito. Baka yabang mo apyong eh. Apyong ang tawag sa akin eh. Are you sure? Yes. Bakit? Pumutok ang pinatubo. Nag-withdraw sila lahat. Di wala na dito. Malinis na. Ay, loko ka. Sabi sa akin. But, you know, dyan, delikado, okay? Next slide. Tagal na. Huwag na yan, diretso mo na. Hanggang 2018. What has been done? Tingnan mo. 1970 pa yan. Bumalik na sa 70, EO 70 na naman. Tsaragis. Wala na. Look at that. Lambat bitag na abutan ko lahat yan. I saw, I experienced. You know what's the problem there? It was only the armed forces, kami lang ang magsasalita gaano dyan. PC ako nun armed forces. Hindi. Magkano? Hindi whole of the nation yan. Isang agency lang tinuturo dyan. Trabaho nila yan. It started here. Kaya Aquino, yung Bantay Laya na yan, yung bayanihan na yan. Pero kulang pa rin ang participation sa planning ng other agencies. But now, EO 70, iba na. And I will tell you why. Okay, next slide please. Tingnan mo. Sabi yan, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Next slide. Recruitment, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Dyan, sigurado, may hingi na naman dyan ng permit to campaign. Dyan, umabot ako dyan sa may Iniraro na yan, hanggang sa Sapang Bato na yan. Paakyat. Pag sa Kanayunan na yan. Lusot kami dyan sa either Tarlac o Zambales. I'm telling you. Next slide, please. Taon-taon, ganun. Kahit anong presidente. Pareho. Ganun pa rin. Ang lang, pag bagong upo, pagka bandang huli na, gitna na, wala na. Kita na ang totoong kulay. Next slide, please. So right now, we have this now. Sa Southeast Asia, many countries have decided already whether they want to be a communist or they want to be anybody. They have decided. But the Philippines, ongoing pa rin ang struggle. The world's longest communist insurgency. Next slide. 50th anniversary noong 2018. Kasi 1968 sila eh. nag-form ang Communist Party. Pinalitan na nila yung traditional na HMB. Okay? So, just remember this. No? During the Vietnam War, the measurement of success was body count. However, the truth was every regular North Vietnamese and North Viet Cong killed, more than 4 replaced them. The body count there was the US officers who fooled the American public. Kami, PC kami. Ilan na ba ang inyong na captured? Ilan ang inyong nahuli? Ilan ang inyong na neutralized, na killed? Diba? Body count. We were not so much in the mind. Mga kamag-anak na namatay, mga kamag-anak na nasipa, mga kamag-anak na nabatstroke, they will join them. It's about the mind. Next slide. So here you can see the president signing LCAC. Sabi ni Presidente ngayon, hindi lang kayo ang forces. LCAC ngayon. Si Juma, ako ang kaharap. Presidente. Kaya local government is very much involved now, and other agencies. This is the whole of the nation approach. So from here, you can see already, nakikita na yan. You cannot do it alone. Police, you cannot do it alone. Armed forces, you cannot do it alone. It must be the whole nation. And because I am the president, I will lead. Okay, next slide, please. Now look at terrorism. Bilisan natin itong terrorism. Okay? Terrorism, please. Bilisan natin to, terrorism. Okay? Sugat that. Next slide. Ano na yan? The word he challenged. He is Baghdadi. Wahhabi. Jihadi. Misconception of puritanical belief. Ito lang. Doon lang ako. Kung hindi ka kasali dyan, exclusive kami. Kung hindi ka, kalabang ka. Mas maraming Muslim silang napatay. In fact, pinakamarami. Yan, puros Muslim yan. Di ba? Why? Hindi sila nakabilib eh. And sabi nila, coercion, violence will be the means. Pag hindi ka, patay ka. At saka ikaw, na naniniwala talaga, the only way to heaven is by what? Killing people. Self-gratification. Suicide bomber. It's all about what? It's about violence. Misconception. But if you will read the Quran, Islam, is a religion of peace and mercy. That's the message there. Okay, next slide. Look at this. Ayan. We will rise. STEAM. Organization, third, sa physiological needs. At ang grupo natin ay tatawagin nating Al-Dwala Al-Islamiyya fi Al-Iraq, Al-Sham, or Daesh, or Islamic State. Kaya dito sa Pilipinas, tinawag nyo ng Islamic State din eh. Dwala Islamiyya ang tawag ngayon eh. Diba? Natira doon sa Maguindanao. Diba? Look at this. So lumaban sila ngayon. So nag-responde ang mundo. Anong ginawa ng mundo? Anong responde ng mundo? Dahil hindi nila nakita kagad. Kasi nasa mind. Hindi kagad nag-manifest ng action nila. Hindi natin masyado pinansin. Yung gira. Gira din ang sagot. Dahil sa gira, maraming sira. Maraming namatay. That is not prevention. Sabi ngayon, ISIS defeated na sa Iraq, Syria. Tamo sira-sira. Ang dami ng patay dyan. Okay na, panalo na. Sa Mauti, defeated na kayo. Wala na kayo sa Marawi. Di ba? Oh, look at this. Marami ring sira. Attack still. Continue. Tuloy-tuloy yan. You did not kill the ideology. Okay? Yan, tuloy-tuloy yan. Sabi niya, 26,000 ICs pa. We will see you doon sa, sabi niya, may panakot pa sila noon eh. We'll see you soon. Sabi niyo noong 2017. We will meet at Christmas in New York, 2017. Sabi niya, November 27 yun. December 11 ng 2017. Pinotokan yung New York. Hindi sila nawala. Dito sa Pilipinas, ganun pa rin. So, continue lang ka nandiyan na. Continue na. May ang ka-latest, Fuchak. Wala na. Talaga. Hulo suicide bombing. Suicide bombing na ito. Ang sabi sa akin noon when I was there sa Interpol before, wala. Wala yan. Bandido lang yan. Yan. Ako, nasaktan ako noon eh. Kasi sabi nila, huwag kayo maniwala kay Apyong. Pero yan na lang yan. Sige lang, basta we will continue our advocacy. Basta mind. Yan. CMO lang naniniwala. Okay? Okay? So, here you can see here how the approach, whole of the nation approach na naman. Kita niyo? Okay, next slide please. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot kill an ideology with a bullet. You can kill it only with a better idea. Yan ang sabi ng Georgian Queen na napakarami ng conflict na na-experience. At yan din ang sasabihin ng ating mga kababayan sa Angeles na marami ng conflict na naranasan. Commander Pusa, Monkeys, Beatles, HMBs, CPNPA, grabe pa tayo dyan. Kailangan better idea para makuha natin ng tao. Okay? Because, tingnan mo yan a strong ideology is measured by the number of people who will believe in it, follow it, and even die for it. Okay? It is contagious like pandemic. It will always find its way to fit the society's thinking, behavior, and culture. Pag kulang ang needs, wasak ang dreams, at hindi strong ang family, papalitan yan ng panibagong pag-iisip. Next slide, please. Okay? Now, let's look at this. So, we're talking that. So, sinabi nila doon, sinabi nila, index crime, non-index crime. Uy, may trabaho pa, public safety. Aside from traffic, aside from accidents, yun, natural calamity. And another one is pandemic. Additional, trabaho ng police. Now look at that. Look at this. We have to, dito, sa natural calamity, wala tayong magawa. Prevention, wala dyan. But we can what? Mitigate the impact. I was there when Mount Pinatubo pumutok. We have to mitigate ang casualties and distractions. We have to prepare. Number one talaga yung tao. Okay, next slide please. Let's make fast now. So makita mo yan. Pilipinas, nandyan. Fire! May pandemic na, sasabayan ka pa niyan. Tapos nandyan pa, pagdating ng fire, may kasama pa yung criminal dyan. Looting. Tapos nadagdagan pa yung mga physiological needs nang nawala ng bahay. Pati pagkain, shelter, di ba? Next slide. So I place this one and look at this. Halos araw-araw may earthquake. Halos kahit saan sa Pilipinas. And this is something to be worried. And we have to prepare for this. May pandemic ka na. May criminality ka pa. Mag-earthquake pa. tingnan mo ang nangyari niyan. Tingnan mo, ito may pandemic na. Wala na. May social distancing ka pa dyan. So, these are the functions ng police, no, na hindi talaga kaya pag nag-isa. So, sasabayan ka nito eh. Sasabayan ka nito. Look at this. Okay? Typhoon. Paano yan? Kaamot ulo ka na yan. And you have your own family, ang ating kapulisan, You have your own family and you have to go to your family also. Or your family will be affected by this. So, may tama rin yan sa utak ng ating pulis. Next slide, please. Sa Yolanda, tingnan mo. So, ano nangyari sa Yolanda? Next slide. Ang nangyari. Ito yung whole of the nation ito. Whole of the nation. So, lahat ng mga kaso whole of the nations pa rin. Pero yung sa Yolanda, tingnan mo. Next slide. Ayan. Meron ding bagong klaseng crime ang nangyari doon. Nag-crime. Next slide, please. Let's go. COVID-19 situations. Mabilis na lang tayo dito. So, tingnan mo yan. Number. Sa Asia, ganun lang tayo. Last pa tayo. Last. Ngayon, ano na tayo? 18 lang tayo. 20 tayo ngayon. Ngayon, 18 na tayo. It's increasing, So, lalong mataranta yung ating dyan, di ba? We really don't know, no? The experts knows why, but the Philippines is doing good. But still, the numbers are screeching. So, I think what we can do is we must not add to that statistics anong area natin. And I think I saw what are you doing there in Angeles City, no? But there sa Angeles City, kahit na ang medical sector needs the policeman. Di ba? Nag-contribute kayo doon. So, whole of the nation yan. Interagency. Next slide. Bilisan natin to. So, I think we know this already. And this is very important. Ito yung pataas pa rin ang COVID cases. And these are the different GCQ and MECQ. Pakita ko yan sa iyo. Next slide. Bilisan natin ito. Here you can see pandemic situations in the Philippines. Sa Central Luzon, anong case na Central? 17,000. Recovered 11 and 211 killed. So, tinamaan din ang Central Luzon. I really don't know the exact details sa Angeles or Pampanga. Next slide. So, kaya ang kapulisan natin, may tama rin. I don't know. I didn't see na may apektado dyan sa Angeles. Next slide. And hopes that the pandemic will end within 2 years. Yung ating tinatawag na Black Death noong 1918 is 5 years. Siguro because of technology ngayon, kaya 2 years lang. Pero mahaba pa yan. Mahaba pa yan. Pababa ng ating yung worst economic downturn. Next slide. So makita natin dito, bilisan lang natin. Bumaba tayo ng negative 16.5. So may impact ito sa atin, May impact ito sa ating economy. Marami tuloy walang trabaho. Next slide please. So 45.5% ang jobless. You just can imagine the implication of this. Gutom na kami. Wala na makain. Gobyerno bigay ng pagkain. Tingnan mo yan. Bigay ng pagkain ng gobyerno. Kayo, nagbigay kayo ng pagkain. Kung wala nang mabigay, laki ng problema yan, di ba? Physiological needs. Next slide. Kahit na gabi, nagpila. Nandiyan na daw ang vaccine, pero baka yung mga last priority pa yung mahirap. Galit na galit nga si Presidente kay mag-down pa raw. Rich countries close to normal by late if vaccine works. Gates. Late 2021. Tagal pa. And then COVID-19 vaccine may be ready by year end, say so. Pero may testing pa rin dito yan. Saka ang tao natin natakot na sa bandak siya ba? Ano ba yan? Yung sa injection sa kagat ng lamok na binbak siya. Okay, next slide please. So Ito nang masaklap dyan. Sa pandemic, criminality. Hoarding. Grabe. Ewan ko kung may nahuli kayo niyan. Wala akong nakita gaano. But baka sa theft or robbery. Yan ang sinasabi ko sa inyo. Tumaas ang sexual abuse. Believe nga ako sa inyo. Bumaba yung rape. Sa ibang lugar, tumaas. Hindi lang yun. Ang rape pa, magkamag-anak. Kamag-anak ang rape. Sila na magkasama doon sa bahay. Ang iba hindi na nagsalita. Kakahiya. Next slide. Worst economic pandemic. Cyber sex. Next slide. Parang cybercrime. Ito mabigsik. Ibinta ko na lang itong bata. Wala na akong pampadidi dito para mabuhay ito. Pagkatapos ang kinita ko, pampangkaid natin. These are the type of criminality na crimes. Next slide. 3.3 million Pinoy suffer from depression, including policemen. Including all children na lumaki. I'll show you here. Okay, next slide. Diyan mo? Hindi nakayanan yung depression. Nagpakamatay. Ang dami nagpakamatay ngayon. Mga bata pa. Mga estudyante, hindi nakayanan. Next slide, please. So these are the crimes now, in fact. So, humingi ng gobyerno sa mga churches, spiritual leaders. Next slide, please. Suicide cases. Okay. So, sino ang nagtatouch dito sa pandemic na ito? Interagency, whole of the nation approach. PNP, hindi pa rin mag-whole of the nation approach. And that's CSOP. Whole of the nation. You're doing it already, but you have to document it now. And you must be, experts on this now. You must be the one talking now about this. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So, hindi lang yan, no? Meron pang ito, na nag-aggravate ng lahat-lahat na yan. Yung criminality na yan, na naging complex yan. So, bilisan mo, Jade. Bilisan mo yan. Kita mo? Face-to-face lang tayo noon. Ngayon, itong gadget na ito. Itong gadget na ito. Tingnan mo, video chatting. Kaya tayo nagbibideo na ngayon. Ganda nito. Ang daming tulong nito. Look at that. Next slide, please. Suddenly becoming, lalo na sa pandemic. Lahat nito nakinabang dito. Hindi ka na makabili sa malls nito, pero pag ano ka sa technology, ayan, dadating. Ako may hinahanap ako na vitamin. Order na lang sa online. Dating. Pero maghanap ka diyan sa paikot-ikot yan. Wala kang makita. Di ba? So technology is really during the pandemic, especially during the pandemic. Remote work from home, di ba? Nakaluto na si nanay, nakatrabaho pa. Distance learning or e-learning, no? Next slide. Pero marami ring yan Yun na lang. Ito lang ang untog tayo dito. Yung internet, most expensive but slowest in the world. Sayo. Yan. Tayo. Yan ang problema. Kaya yung e-learning natin, nauntog kunti yun. Di ba? But you have to look at that, no? Expensive ang internet, most expensive but lowest. Not only that, the gadgets now. Yung ating mga hihirap na nag-e-learning, nangilangan ng gadgets, ang taas ng bilihan ng nakaw ng cellphone. Kita natin yun Mas murang benta nila. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Kaya salisin nila cellphone ng banat. So here, cybercrimes nag-rise. Okay, I was expecting something like this also because it was COVID now. So cybercrime and theft is that. Mga pangalan, mga pagkatao mo ninakaw. Pera mo na nakatago na sa safety. Security needs. Nandun na sa bangko. Na-hack. Okay, next slide please. Wala nang pera. Si PNP, gamit na rin yun. Next slide please. Mag-recruit ang ISIS. Diyan din. Next slide. Next slide. Kita mo. Acquire ng skills, no? Diba? Acquire ng skills during mobilization. Makuha mo na rin sa internet. Tools. Next slide. Technology. Ewan ko kung ano, nagbisita ko dyan sa Angeles noon, meron kayong ganito. Pero wala pa, hindi pa masyado nagpa-practice lang noon. Ngayon siguro praktisado na. Okay, next slide please. Mauti, ginagamit na rin yan. So what is happening around us, no? So kahit na may ganun kayo, no? Pero itong technology is also killing the human touch. Tingnan mo magpamilya na yan, no? I'm telling you this, I'm showing you this because of the family needs and dreams. Huh? Nandiyan ako, pamilya ko, ayun si Lula, nandiyan ang mga apo ko, accepted ako, grupo kami. Pero their minds is away. Wala. Doon sa grupo. And look at this. Number 1 user natin, mga bata. Ang sabi ng bata, I feel social media can make people my age feel less lonely and alone. Nandun ako sa pamilya ko, lonely pa rin ako. Kaya ganun. Yung kanyang best friend pa rin ang kaharap niya. At mag-ingat tayo dyan. And I think we can help, no, sa community relations natin. Strengthening family relations. Importante yan. Very important. It has given my age an outlet to express opinion. Hindi na ako makapagbigay pala ng opinion sa aking mga magulang. Alam mo, maliliit na bagay ito, no? But this starts everything. This will start everything. Associate with people with different places. Naku, influence na yan. Wala akong esteem sa pamilya ko. Kahit kulong ako ng tatay ko. Meron lang akong ganito. Influence na utak ko. Okay? So anyway, I'm just showing you this because it's not like the way we practiced before. No? So tingnan mo ito. Na-curtail ang movement, na-curtail ang social life ng ating mga teenager. Philippines, pang-ilan tayo? Dami na. World Health Organization. Death. Okay? So, alam naman natin na ang bata, globalization, this is very simple. Ang globalization, ibig sabihin, nagbukas tayo, kaya nagkaroon ng access ang mga kriminal. Okay, let's just move past dito sa Pilipinas. No? Marami na tayong airports, so maraming access. So, kahit nasa by sea lane, from Indonesia, tsaka sa Malaysia, pwede nang pumasok. In transnational crime, ayun, no? Kita mo, umiikot, dumadaan doon sa Pilipinas. Next slide. So makita mo yan, kahit ng ISIS, umalis na sila sa Iraq and Syria. Tapos dito, sinabi, mas maganda doon sa Pilipinas. So ano nangyari? Yan, ganun. Ang daming mga dito. Maraming umatras dito sa atin. Kilapa. Muntika na tayo dito. Mabuti na nadali doon sa Marawi. Okay. Bakit? Ito yung tingnan mo ang hybridity ng crimes ngayon. Pareho ang ruta lahat. Illegal drugs, human trafficking, smuggling, terrorism. Andiyan lahat. Yan ang ruta na yan. Pati sa COVID na yan. Papasukan na yan. Tingnan mo ang Lanao ngayon. Nyari ng Lanao. Okay, next slide please. So, of course, COVID-19, border control ng COVID-19. Pati ang COVID, napasok because of globalization. So here again, this development further, ang responses natin needs a multi-agency and multi-level collaboration, strengthened by the state's active engagement with the community. Whole of the nation approach. We need new strategies, new tactics, new policies, new skills and trainings, capability building, which I know you're doing it now. Okay? This is the holistic approach, and ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than community service-oriented policing. So noon ay traditional policing na lang sa solving problem. Tapos nagkaroon tayo ng community-oriented policing, more on implementation na lang. And then when we have the democratic policing, this is the whole, from the identification of the problem kasama na ang komunidad, kasama na ang LGU, kasama na ang interagency. And implementation, hindi na lang lagi pulis ang nangunguna. Dati kami yan lagi nangunguna kahit na sa disaster. Kami lagi, ako. Yan sa Angeles, pumutok ang Tubo, ako ang task force. Ha? Hindi na pwede ngayon yan. No? Kaya kamas-kamas. Nandun ako sa Sulu, no man's land, ako ang gobyerno, ako ang teacher. Sabi ko, 1 plus 9 times ano ba yan? 9 times 5 ba yan? 9 times 5 nga. 45. Pukwat 45 caliber. Magbigay ng halimbawa na nagletrang A, Army, Armalite. So kasi kami magturo eh. So this time different, no? Interagency, community policing. Okay? Police can give in. Police now must identify the lead and support ang police. And sometimes the police is the lead and the others will support. Okay? At ang magkumpas ang mayor. Next slide, please. So, with that, ito na ngayon. No? So, ano bang klase ngayon ng ating sistema? So, sabi nga sa Japan, matagal ito. Kaya we have to coexist with the new coronavirus. What we need is disciplined lang, sabi nila. Keep distance, wear mask, discipline lang. And I'll show you later on. So next slide please. O ganito ang gusto natin. I don't know kung makikita ninyo ito. Ganito pa rin ba tayo? Ganito pa rin ba ang gagawin natin sa kapulisan natin? So tingnan lang natin saglit. Okay? Paano mag-implement? Hala. Hindi ka nagmas. Tigas ng ulo mo, pasaway ka. Wear mask, sabi niya. Di ba? Di ba? Wala disiplina eh. Di ba? Yung enforcer. Wala din. Puta, karatista pa. Pucha. Okay, next slide please. Okay, next slide. So, hindi na tayo. Palagi. Sige, okay. Next na tayo. Okay, next. Now with that, of course, pinakita ko yun before and I'm happy because kahit papano nakita rin siguro sa ibang sources ng ating ang ating AITF COVID strategy shift, back to work, but stay healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, we need a very disciplined community and stakeholders here. Okay, next slide please. So with that, let's go to the preventive. Bilisan natin konti at please stay with me. Sandali lang ito. Hindi na kailangan siguro ito. Sige, banat mo. Kita mo yan, isang traffic cop. May nakita siya. Something is wrong kaagad. No? Na-sense niya yan. No? Na-sense niya yan. No? Kita mo, may deep crack. Na-sense kaagad niya yan. Sa intersection. So, ginaid niya kagad ang mga sasakyan, tagtawag ng kasama, naglagay ng harang, and then after which, within minutes, this happened. Pook. Okay, I think you saw this already. 2 meters deep, sinkhole. No one injured. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what? Prevention. Ganon ang policing technique natin yan. Huwag na tayo maghintay na meron pang mangyari. Later on, I will show you. Next slide, please. So here you can see here. Ito sa Makati ito eh. Active pa ako nito eh. Active pa ba ako? Hindi. Nasa PCTC ako. Ito yung pinakamataas na yan. Sa taas na yan. Yan ang maraming mandurukot dyan eh. Kaya nilagyan niya ng pulis eh. Pero tingnan mo anong ginawa ng pulis dyan. Di ba? O nag-text. Di ba? Matagal na ito. Hindi na ito ganito ngayon siguro. But I'm just showing you this. Tinitingnan yung magandang babaeng naglalakad. Yun. Ganun. Isang granada lang yan. Ubus lahat yan eh. Di ba? So, sa lower picture, you can see na mayroong hole din doon. Maraming nahulog dyan. Maraming na-aksidente dyan. Wala man lang effort na lagyan ng signage o harang man lang. Sabi, mag-ingat ka. Wala. Bakit? Hindi ko trabaho yan eh, sabi ng pulis. Hindi ko trabaho yan. Sabi ng force multiplier niya, hindi ko trabaho yan. Nasaan ang pulis natin? Matagal na yan ha. Nandun sa ilalim ng hindi nga nakaharap kung merong doon sa may butas para masabihan lang kung mag-ingat ka. Nandun no, sa lilim ng kahoy. So anyway, ito, a car is half buried inside. Araw-araw merong patrolya ng pulis dyan. Matagal na rin yung excavation na yan. Pero walang signages, wala lahat. Paghulog ng sasakyan, saka lumapit ang pulis, nag-imbestiga. That's not prevention. Bakit niyo hindi nilagyan o ano? Hindi namin trabaho yan. Paglagay na yan. See? So it has to be interagency, inter-office. Mayor, mukhang may decree. Ito, patrol yan araw-araw. Put patrol at saka mobile patrol yan. Nakita na yung na yan na poste na yan. Tumba ngayon. Ano ngayon ang nangyari? Saka na lang nag-imbestiga. Isa patay at saka isa sugatan na. After. Bakit hindi nyo hindi namin trabaho yan. Moral ko yan. Okay? So, these are just a very, very simple, Ito, this is in Bulacan. Punta ka sa Malolos. Daanan ito ng patrol doon. Grabe ang, Hindi pinansin yan. Hindi pinansin yan. O pag ulan. Naku, bumaha. Lubog mga bahay. Naharang yan. Dito bandang mga bahay yan. Lubog. Hindi makadaan ng tubig. Saka na nag-react ang mga rescue. Okay? Bigay na naman ng pagkain. Okay? Bakit niyo hindi namin trabaho yan? Garbage na yan. You see, hindi man maniwala kahit na sumbok. We will never stop. We will never stop reminding people, telling the mayor, the head, the executive, kailangan natin tirahin yan. Malaki problema natin yan. Okay? So these are the samples there now. Okay? So yung sa Bagyo, nawala nagsirado yung mga mining. Kahit na magkatabi. Tinira ang iles ng mga termite gang. Hanggang doon sa Bulacan, PD ako ng Bulacan. Mga pawn shop doon, ginapang. No? Kahit na interagency man lang, interterritorial coordination. Uy, bantay kayo dyan ha. Sirado dito, maraming termite gang ngayon dyan po dadaan sa inyo. So mapagsabihan natin yung ating mga Wala eh. Yan, katabing apartment, sinukay. Next slide. Ito, kuratong baliling. Natapos ng gira-gira doon sa Usamis. CPP-NPA. Pagbalik dito ng batalyon, kasama yan mga yan, at wala daw silang trabaho. Anong hold up na dito? Okay. Physiological needs. So, itong delikado. Bata, remote, barangay, become recruit ng CPP-NPA. Easy target lang silang poor villages ng walang physiological needs eh. Cannot afford basic necessities. ISIS. Anong sabi sa ISIS? It is driven by cultural isolation. Yan, terrorist yan. Makakita ka lang ng Arabic. Islamophobia ka agad. Do you isolate them? They feel that they do not belong anymore. So, esteem nagkaroon ng problema. So, yan. Nangyari. Okay? So, here, can we prevent this? Sambuanga seats. 1 month before ng Sambuanga seats, umiiyak na si Mayora. Wala rin. Marawi. Sabi ni Presidente, 30 lang yan by independence. Flag ng Pilipinas, nandiyan na. Puchak, umabot na ng June 12. Wala pa. 1,000 pa lang mahigit. Puchak. Na. Prevention. Could we have prevented this? Doon sila sa community. Di ba? Parang report. Why? There are better ideology than us. Dragon war. Mayor Duterte pa para malaman natin nakagapang na sa mga barangay. Hindi natin na-prevent. So it's very important that we have to strengthen this relationship. Now let's look at this. Strengthening local government capability, especially in the river. What is basic services? I will just do this very fast. So ito yung mga basic services as defined by our local government code. Job, sustainability, okay, agriculture, community forestry, tourism, kasi nag-create ng job yan at saka ng pagkain, food, social and assistance, di ba? Health, kailangan yan, solid waste disposal, yung di ba? Pinakita ko sa inyo, social welfare services, construction and operations of cemeteries man lang. Wala man lang ako mapaglibingan ng transportation. Ito lang. Dito lang tayo sa pangatlo, peace and order and public safety, part of the basic services. Then awareness, yung ating mga information. Ako, nakita ko sa Angeles, may information kayo dyan. But all of this, tayo ngayon, hindi lang yung kanya-kanya yan. Nag-cross-cutting tayo dyan sa lahat ng na yan, basic services na yan. That is why karamihan yan, tingnan niyo, sample lang yan. Agriculture, o fishery na lang, Bureau of Fishery yan, agriculture yan, Tingnan mo lang yan, police, ano yan, kasi ecology, ganun, di ba? Pero mukhang ginagawang pulutan natin ng police yan, pawikan na yan. Hindi, biro lang, okay? Anyway, let's go. Tingnan mo, next mo na kasi nagmamadali na tayo. Wag na. Illegal fishing na yan. Okay, let's look at the community base. DNR yan DNR. Police. Matagal na yung ginagawa yan Bakit? Hindi talaga sila makagalaw kung wala yung police na. So, the role of the police is very important. But we must have that focus. Hindi ko trabaho yan. Hindi ganun. You are very much needed. Kahit nasa pandemic, tingnan mo yung tracing na yan. Next slide, please. Okay, next. So, never mind the others, But of course, gusto ko lang i-emphasize yung basics. You have been doing it already, but still, marami pa rin nangyayari na hindi. But why? Kulang ang advocacy natin dyan. That's why, nagkainan natin yan. Service-oriented. Okay? So, resolution of the problem. Let's go. So, ang isang ng operational concept, sama-sama tayo pag-resolve ng problema. So, here, the triumvirate, and there is a process there, and you can improve the process if you like, or you can even decrease the process if you like, as long as you will have the right output. But this is it. From the very start up to the implementations, lahat yan magkasama kayo. Okay? So you can even go there, update the strategy again sa operationalization, and you can even have a MOA na mention ng POPs planning. This is a source of fund, and that is already, POPs planning is already DILG. Andyan na yung ating local government. So it's I don't know, sa identification of the problem, then the police, because he is always on the ground, in the barangay, and he can see the problem there. Insurgency, terrorism, criminality, public, pandemic, whatever. Doon yan. Pwede yan ilagay. Or other agency that will insert there any problem that will have impact on peace and order. So lahat kayo, sama-sama, and look at this. So sabi nga ni Einstein, if I have an hour to solve a problem, I'd spare 55 minutes thinking about the problem. Ano ba yung problema talaga? And only 5 minutes thinking about the solution. You just can't imagine if you did not bullseye the right problem. And when we talk at the problem, it's the root cause of that problem. ladies and gentlemen. Police, mga hepe, substation, commanders. Huwag lang tayong, mababaw lang tingin natin yan. Akala natin yan lang yan. So if you look at the, di ba, doon sa ating proseso, di ba, identify the problem, di ba, mayroon tayo doon, plan, mobilize, implement, operate, and then evaluate, di ba? Tingnan mo sa identification problem, sa scanning pa lang at saka analysis, dalawa na kagad kanya dyan. Kaya you have to, look at that. And you can see the roots there and everything. If you have a good relationship with the community and you can really scan or dissect the real cause or the real problem. Okay? And then you respond. When you start to respond, you plan, mobilize, implement, operate, and then you assess. And that's the time you evaluate. Okay? So, yun yung SARA na sinasabi natin dito. Okay? Let's make pass already. Next slide, please. So, of course, the triumvirate, no? And this is very important. So, I just have to explain a little bit dito, no? So, when you try to implement the triumvirate, it's very important, no? The community, the police, or any law enforcement present there, and then, of course, the local chief executives. Okay? The local chief executives. Local chief executives headed by the chief executive, the mayor, or the barangay captain. Okay? Very important. Okay? Now, when you first, let's look at the community. Strengthen community partnership. Okay, this is the strategy there. We can, attention, interest, desire, and we must get their participation in action. Okay. But the primordial concern here is we must understand fear and survival. Kung hindi natin intindihin yan muna, oo nang oo lang yan. Walang magagawa yan. Nag-expand ang COVID natin. Umuoo lang sila eh. Hanggang naging really, we explain to them, ang buy-in talagang grabe. In the first place, how can you say social distancing dyan? Diba? They will never understand social distancing. So, kailangan, ano yung utak mo sa kanila. Because that is their food, shelter, survival, fear and survival ng community. No? Next slide. They will always say, yun doon pwede mong gawin. Pero sa amin, hindi. Look at this. Yung drug na, drug din, karamihan, nandun din sa kanila. Diba? Mga tiyanggi. Diba? Doon din. Wala na kami iba. Gambling. Yan sa Angeles nung kami, mag-grade kami, doon din sa kanila. Kumita sila eh. Diba? Ayan. Next slide. Slum areas, epicenter of illegal, fear, survival, coexist. Kumikita sila dyan. Walang ibang means. Next slide. Ito, sa insurgency. Nag-rally na naman doon sa harap ng Napolcom nung bago mag-COVID. Diyan ang galing. Di ba? Dispersal areas. Papakain pa sa kanila. They are believing now that the ideology the other side is espousing is a better idea. No? Mga ganong klase. Or natakot sila. Okay, next slide. Fear and survival. Kung natakot lang sila, huliin mo ba sila? Yeah? Huliin mo ba sila? Yan ang sabi ko when I was in the Angeles. Dapat tumulong yan. Sir, pasabili siya, tumulong yan. Under juris yan, kaya tumulong yan. Anong maganda strategy sa kanila? Yan. Di ba? Lalo magalit yan kung di ba? So here you can see sa COVID, tiyan mo. Yung number 1 na COVID, dito, sa Angeles, sa Quezon City. Yan. Yan mga ganong klaseng lugar. Di ba? Merong isa lang nadapuan ng pagpunta niya dyan, yari na. Ang masama, karamihan na dyan, mga trabahador, ganon. Yan din, ang sakay rin nila, MRT. So very susceptible sila sa environment. No? So we have to look at that and look at this no, sa LCAC. No? Yung LCAC natin, ha? Yung ating tinatawag na retooled community support program framework. Look at this, no? I want just to see this insurgency. No? Tingnan mo yung first step nila. Welfare. Basic services cluster. Diyan mag-umpisa lahat yan. You must know the fear and survival before you can what? Pasok na heightened consciousness. Maka-access dyan. Bago tayo makapagsabi sa interest nila, lahat yan. And their action, participation. So even ILCAC, no, see this one. And bago pa ILCAC, nandyan na tayo dyan sa basic services na yan. CSOP. Next slide, please. Oh, yan. Sample na ninyo yan. Peace and Order Councils, Advisory Councils. Ngayon, merong summit ang Advisory Councils natin. No, these are other forum na pwede nating because represented ang community diyan. Nakaka-influence pa sa community, no. So ang community will support this one. Nandiyan ang dynamics at saka exchange of informations. Next slide, please. This is very important. We have to have a program of this. Strong family. We have to. Hindi mo nagdasal sila, wala nang gadget yan. Huh? If you have a strong family, you will have a strong community. Sa ngayon, makikita natin dyan. Makikita natin. Okay, next slide, please. So, if the community participation is not about patrolling, no? It's not just about patrolling, gawa tayo ng bantay dyan, barangay, bantay bayan, or reporting or monitoring. We have to develop a certain commitment to negate the root causes of the problem. If we will not be able to do so, our children and grandchildren and the future generations in that particular community will keep on patrolling, reporting, and monitoring. Wala na. Ganun na lang ang gagawin nila. So we have to have a higher. Dapat monitoring na lang tayo kasi higher na lang tayo. No, wala na yung next slide, please. So here we have that, no? And then let's look at the police. That's the community, no? That's the police. Sabi, police shall initiate the building of collaborative, sabi doon, partnership with local executives, organizations. Sinabi na yan kanina. Improve police service delivery. Okay? Bantay sa katahimikan. Just a reminder for this. So the PNP, we need to review and study alternative operational procedures and tactics to be aligned with developing challenges and accompanying it. Huwag tayong box type thinker, out of the box thinkers. No? It will always ganun ang mga criminal out of the box thinker laging paano tayo lulusutan ito, no? And you can have this being always ground oriented. Nagbabago yan. Nagbabago ang fear and survival. Kaya dito community, municipality and barangay lang kasi iba-iba ang fear and survival niyan. At nagbabago pa rin yan. So in other words, we must be able to monitor this. We must be able not only to know it, but we must be able to feel that para magkaroon tayo ng very effective strategy. No? So look at this. No? So ito yung mga no? Let's look at the ground-oriented. No? Fear and survival. Now, meron pa ba tayo dyan? PNP cannot do it alone. So, para tayo bumilib, kanulad kanina, pababa lahat ng statistics ninyo. Tama ba yan? Di ba? Pero kung makita ninyo yan, no? Ang tao ba, doon gusto tumira sa mababa ang statistics? Mataas ang statistics. How we were able to perform, no? Kung dyan sa ating lugar is mataas ang crime and we were able to bring it down, mas the thinking of the community is not based on that. Iba, survivor and fear yan. Kahit na mataas ang crime, sila pa nga magano ng crime. So, that's why nandun yung tatlo, di ba? Assist local government in the delivery of basic services. So that's part of the strategy now. Hindi lang tayo dapat sa statistics. Basics plus a strong family. Next slide, please. So makita niyo yan. Community perceive. Tingnan niyo yung perceive. So katamihan tayo, ganun ang ako panahon ko siguro ngayon hindi na sa panahon ninyo. Sa panahon ko noon, operations officer, ano ba tayo? Pataas pa tayo, pababa ang ating crime statistics diyan. Sir, pataas sir, babaan mo. Sabi ko, putang yan na. Ngayon siguro hindi na. Hindi naman lahat ng sa akin lugar okay yan. Ang Ilis nga okay yan noon eh. Okay? So level of crimes, timo Quezon City. Sa Quezon City, ganun din, pababa ang crimes. Pero pag tinanong mo yung mga tao doon, high, moderate, high. Iba ang perception ng community. Ang community natin talagang gusto nilang maservisyohan sila eh. Mataas ang krimen dito, tulungan niyo kami. Hindi kami kailangan safety index at night time low. So ibig sabihin pag sa Quezon City ka, naglakad ka doon ng gabing-gabi na, nakakatakot na. Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan gawin natin moderate man lang yan. Baguhin natin yan kasi they don't give a damn. Ang gusto nila, hindi sila ma-hurt. Ganun lang yan. So, it's our responsibility. Ganun ang thinking ng community. Di ba? Ito, problem ng corruption and bribery, very high. Perception nila. Next slide, please. So, makikita nito dyan sa Bulacan, moderate. Low, moderate. Pero problem ng corruption, high. Yun ang problema. Next slide, please. Pampanga, low. Ganda. Moderate na lang ang so, proving talaga ang Pampanga. Tingnan natin kung yung briefing ng Angeles Bay. Moderate. Low. Walking, pwede ka maglakad. Very high ang safety index. Pero moderate, dapat high na rin sa gabi ang Angeles. So anyway, moderate is already good. But you have still to improve. Kasi meron pa rin nangyari. So when you talk of moderation, katulad ng worries on car stolen, ang nagsabi, siguro pati motorsiklo na yan, lang sila, moderate lang, so 47%. So meron pang remaining na nawawalan pa rin. Okay? So let's look at, Davao City. Lutihan mo Davao City, very low lahat. Ako, taga-roon din ako. 3 beses ako ninakawan doon. Mga bata, pumapasok sa bahay. Apartment ng mama ko. Wala, pinasok 3 beses. Pero mga bata ang gamit. But the perceptions of the community there is, low. So, may taas ng trust and confidence sa law enforcement. Okay, next slide please. So here, good governance is very important. Where the good roads end, the problem begin. So kayo, try ang na kayo eh. Kaya kita niyo sa Basila noon, 2008, I was the DIPO. Good roads lang. Pataragis, ito yung bad roads. Tingnan mo yung bad roads. Diyan nakabase si Amir ng ASG. Lahat ng kidnappers diyan dinadala. Pero right now, when the basic services such as infrastructures were developed already, one of the peaceful area is Basilan. Nag-aagawan ng assignment dyan ngayon. Yung aking kabarkada na rider, nag-ikot-ikot na sila dyan. Okay? Next slide, please. Wag na lang yan. Okay? It will take time. Pero I just would like to show you, this is, nag-reinforce yung mga police sa isang inambush. But yung ang road dyan ay hindi sira-sira. So where the good road ends, the problem begins. So maraming next slide please. Next slide. So here we have here 85% of Filipinos still worried about getting COVID. So may anxiety pa rin yung ating kapulisan. Ang ating community. So ang ibig sabihin, no matter how we say na it's going good, but still they have that. But still they are only worried. But you know, pag may fear and survival, they will overcome that worries. Okay. Now let's look at this now. Community discipline. No? When you immerse a community, let's look at community discipline. No? So you look at this. No, violations of no helmet, working public without mask, etc. etc. Look at this. No, ang community discipline sometimes, no, because nandyan, because nobody would like to implement it. No, so ang police has to implement it. No, marami kayong nakikita niyan. So it's very important na to implement yan, di ba? I mean, we have projects now. We have CSOP programs and projects and activities that will somehow, enhance this. Magita natin. Kasi yung, kaya number 90 na tayo siguro. Diba? Kaya number 90 na tayo. Next slide, please. So that's what we need really sa community. We implement and we have projects on, madisiplina sila. Kaya kahit dikit-dikit ng mga bahay nila, pero disiplinado yung buong community na yon, maybe we can avoid. In Japan, dikit-dikit din naman sila eh. But they have that culture of discipline already sa community. So we have to look at, coordinate with other agency, and yung discipline ng community is very important. Next slide, please. Let's go down. So here, leadership, no? So for PNP, no? So sabi nga niya, set example not only on the easy way, but on the top ones also you must lead. Sabi ni Major Dick Winters. Ito yung sa Band of Brothers, di ba? So we have to set example. Yan ang sabi niya. Next slide, please. So, you have to have trust and confidence. But if you see this, wala na. Pati iba na. Di ba? So leadership is not only sa chief of police, but to all policemen. Remember that CSOP is a philosophy. It is an individual philosophy. Ang career or ang kanyang advertisement ng CSOP is sa individual policeman. Ito kasi, na picture ito kasi wala ngang helmet. Not only that, during that time, ang is may harang. Though inalis na yun, no? But during that time, may harang. So, mga iba, hindi rin kaharang. Meron din faulty rin yung may harang. But, it's just a matter of, showing the public na setting examples. Next slide, please. So, tingnan niyo ito. Police, inuman habang naka-duty. So, I mean, nakita tayo, no? So, set examples. Very important. On the ground. We must be the strongest link, sabi nga doon. Ito, dito sa Angeles ata ito eh. Minsan, ang leaders nila, alam daw ng mga leaders, alam ng mga hepe, pero pinabayaan lang. Bakit? Baka kumita siguro noon. No? So, I mean, let's be practical now, no? I mean, leadership is not, there's something into it, no? There is, you just have to, for the community to believe in you, you must do it first. Kahit mahirap. Okay? So that is leadership. So it's the strongest link. So we must be the catalyst. So ang ating treatment sa community must not be we are outside the community na tinitingnan lang natin sila, or we are controlling the community. But we must, or we are the link with the community. Nakipag-usap na tayo, nag-immerse na tayo, but we must be the catalyst partner of the community. Okay? We must influence them. And this is it, no? The community expect us to be the strongest link, maasahan. And by, looking at the root cause ng problema nila and doing something about it. Then, and give it as a problem solving doon sa ating tinatawag na process, that is CSOP. We are bridging leaders. We are the catalyst partner. Okay? So let's do. Go. So acquire new skills. Kailangan na ito kasi new normal na. Kami dito sa Napolcom, tinitingnan na namin itong mga kailangan ninyo. So we have new MCs already here. Kailangan, we have to live by it. So ang planning natin dito, bago na. Pati sa investigation, pati sa operations natin, sa raid natin. Info technology officers. Huwag niyo sabihin, meron na kayong cyber group dyan. We can, ask from the process, problema talaga namin ng technology. We need equipment, we need training. Wala pa ang kraming maibigay sa amin dito. We need to join hands, to cure the resources. Mag-develop tayo ng sarili natin. Let's not wait anymore. Okay? So yun, we have to new tools. Next slide, please. So here, we must be proactive. Very, very important. Huwag tayong ruleta ng kaparalan. Ngayon, papunta ka sa Davao ngayon, tumawag na naman yung aking mga tao doon. Sir, wala na naman kami dito, sir. Balik kami sa curfew dito. Tsaka sa ruleta ng kaparalan. We must be proactive. You just can imagine, 2 weeks ago, 40 kagad, sumakay lang sa Cebu Pacific, 40 na, pagbaba doon, pag-swab, 40 na. Look at this, walang planning, hindi proactive. Nagkagulo yung web doon, nagkaulan, wala na, basa lahat. Stranded sa, we have, kawawa masyado. So we are the planners here. Sometimes may bombing doon sa hindi tayo proactive. Shortcut na lang, martial law na tayo. We will resort to this, ito, makita mo dito, nasa na yung mga nag-participate dito. The DNR, dapat dito na DNR, tourism, gusto nilang ipakita itong white sun na ito. So LGU, mag-invite kayo para pumunta dyan, pero planuhin ninyo kung paano yan. PNP, take charge kayo. Pagdating nila doon, nagkalit-silitsi na. So ano nangyari? Kawawa naman si Chief of Police. Pero interagency yan, Chief of Police, kailangan may sumagot dyan. Di ba? So it's very important, It's very proactive ka talaga dapat. Okay? Now, whole of the nation approach. Now, during the pandemic, we really saw this, ito sa Region 3, Bayanihan. We saw this, itong makita natin talaga ang impact nito kahit nasa checkpoints natin, lalo na ang health, ang transport sectors, lahat tayo dyan, we saw that interagency. We cannot do it alone. We need also the cooperation of the public. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. So with that, improve police service. Bakit mo inalis kagad yung improve police service na yun? Maganda yun, makita nila, but we will just give you that. Nagmamadali na si JD. Okay, conduct periodic review. So ito yun, very important. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, next slide, please. So chief executives, where we have chief executives pa ba? Napaalaw naman si Vice, pero nandyan naman siguro ka na. So they are the leaders, of course. Sila ang magaganon, magbabaton. Tapos they will integrate all the efforts ng community, ng ganon, with the help, and then they provide the support ng LCE. And there, so you look at the Peace and Order Council, interagency na. Pero local government talaga, nandiyan ang PNP, nakasentro. Sa regional, ganon din. Sa provincial, ganon din. Sa city, ganon din. Ganon din sa provincial. So, look at the DILGO. POPs planning ng DILGO. Yung process natin sa CSOP, the same. Diba? Environmental scanning. Then, ito yung mga activities natin sa gitna. Then, law enforcement operations. Tingnan mo, lahat na, nandyan na. Dito sa mga lock-up, drugs, lahat yan. CSOP system, baba. Then we can, align this with the PNP Patrol Plan 2030 roadmap. Okay? So if you will just integrate all of them, no? From the ALG, development plan. Kasi development means what? Basic services yan eh. Kailangan mo development para magkaroon ng trabaho. Okay? So this is the operational. So this is the framework. So makikita niyo ang framework ng DLG planning. So tayo nakapasok tayo dun sa peace and order and public safety. Nakikita niyo yung different basic services. Pero tayo sa Peace and Order Council, nakikita yan ng BPAPs, Barangay Peace and Order, Barangay Peace and Order Planning. Tapos collection of lahat ng barangay na yan, and then you consolidate it. Pero the basic police plan with CSOP strategies and system. Okay? Sinama ng DILG yan. No. So what is this all about? Itong PAPS, Peace and Order and Public Safety Plan. What is this? This is the basis for the annual, yun, sa kanan, investment plan. Yung nasa kanan, yung green. Ano yan? Pera yan, pera. Okay? Pera. Okay, next slide please. Next slide. So of course, this is the seal of good governance. So ang DILG will always basis na ang CSOP, no, sa isa sa seal of good governance. And in fact, DILG local executives are the deputies of Napolcom. No? Deputies of Napolcom. Kaya sila deputies of Napolcom. Okay, they have another topic later on. No? Kasi wala police tayo nito. So here you can see the Peace and Order Council in Mindanao. Diyan meron din, sigurado ako. Nakita ko sa inyong briefing. Next slide, please. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. For these three to work effectively, there has to be trust and confidence. Kung makita ng pulis ang community, mukhang nagtatago ng kriminal at saka sa ano, at right in the nose ng aking barangay tanod. I will not trust my barangay tanod. Alam mo dito sa pandemic, dito sa banda sa Quezon City, bumulong sa akin yung kilala kong pulis. Lalakad-lakad ako, nakikita ko, kilala kong pulis. So tingnan mo yung bantay doon sa ano ng barangay na yan, oh. Tingnan mo yung sitio na yan, oh. Meron silang checkpoint diyan. Bakit? Sino ba yan? Yan ang target sa drugs. Puti naging bantay na doon. Kaya sir, sigurado yan sa loob yan, sir. Siguro marami nang. So I mean, di ba? Trust and confidence, no? Wala. Police, nakita, nakipag-usap sa ano? Sa nag-distribute ng drugs. Meron dyan sa likod. Oh. Paano trust and confidence yan? Local chief executives, barangay, ano. Kumpare niya yung nagpasugal doon. So, what I mean to say is, there is really a need to have trust and confidence among the three to make it a successful one. So, you have to talk. I have to talk to each other. Okay, next slide, please. So here are the local tips, no, for implementing CSOP. So dapat ito yung ating assignment na ninyo, no. So para mabigay ko lang itong local tips, no. So bilisan lang natin to, Jade. Magwa 1 o'clock na ata eh. Man na. Oh. So ito, no, sample, no. Ito yung laging binobomba sa Jensen. Laging binobomba itong Jensen na ito eh. So, unfortunately, pinadala nila ako dyan para ayusin tong bombahan dito sa may Region 12. So, talagang hindi kaya ng pulis, ng army. Hindi kaya. So, kailangan talaga ng force multipliers. Pero nalaman ko na ang strategy ko doon, yung force multiplier ko, without delineating them from their day-to-day living. Ibig sabihin, dapat kumikita sila, may pagkain sila. Kasi ito, tingnan mo yan ha. Sabi na kaya sila hindi nakatulong eh. Oh, hindi kontento nang walang bayad. Pero patrolin mo kami, bantay kami diyan, wala kaming makain ng pamilya namin. Busy sa trabaho at sa buhay namin. Marami kaming gawain din sa bahay. Tapos pag volunteerin mo kami. So sa kanilang kalooban yan nakikita nila. Ito pa, takot kami balikan. Yan. Number 1 yan. Papatrol kami yan. Ganun na kami. Magkunay bans na lang kami para hindi kami pag-initan. So, we have to look at these things, no? We have to understand the fear and survival ng community. So, going back, no, wag na natin isa-isahin yan. Going back. So, dapat hindi kumakain pa rin sila at hindi sila mabulilyaso. So, ito yung binubomba doon. Kaya ako napapunta doon from SOP, pumunta ako doon eh. So, I noticed this is the public market. Itong mga color coding na yan. Security guard, traffic enforcer, CSU, tanod. Merong 37 dyan na nakadeploy. Dalawa lang ang pulis dyan. Patulog-tulog pa yung isang pulis ko dyan. Lagi. Itong sa harap kasi, outpost yan eh. Investigador yung nasa loob ng market. Nako. Putragis. Wala na. Hindi talaga, kung ang bomba nandun sa likuran, doon sa blue na yan, dark blue na yan, wala. Hindi makita ng pulis. Bakit? Sila lahat dyan, ang sabi naman nila, trabaho ng pulis yan. Yun. Laki na. So, ang pulis, hindi lang makita. So, putok ng putok dyan. So, anyway, here I found out that there are 37 eyes and ears. In 37 eyes and ears, all you have to do here is that you teach them what to observe and where to report and how to report. Even surreptitiously, secretly, para hindi naman sila kagad. Unahan na ninyo kagad ng strategy na gano'n. Huwag niyo sabihin, ikaw, duwag ka. Kulang ang pagmahal mo sa ating bayan pag ganun ka. Huwag na. We understand their fear and survival. No? Gumawa ka kagad ng sistema. Ito, dito, itong tawagin mo. Ganun. So what we did now is that to tell these 37 people what to observe. Okay? So ito ngayon ang structure namin doon. Tingnan mo, may operational kami, may support kami, may United Front kami. Yan, tanod na yan, pinaka-chismoso yan, nagre-report na. Dati ayaw. Bakit? Pinupuntahan kasi sa kanilang bahay. Tinatanong ng gusto, di lalo siyang dyan, di ba? Tricycle driver, what to know, what to report. Pag nakakita ka dyan, patingin-tingin, pinapawisan, may bag dyan sa likod niya na mabigat-bigat na yan. At hindi yan ang taga sa biyahe mo, hindi taga doon sa barangay na ruta mo. Yan, isumbong mo. Yan, mga ganun kami. No? So marami pa yan, no? But we just have to make it fast now. So next slide, please. So after the target hardening, yun. Ito, katulad yan. Yan ang unang Alcobar bomber na nakuha. Sinumbong ng isang tindera doon sa harap ng bus stop. Kasi gusto niyang bombahin yung bus doon na hininga nila extortion. So pinlant nila doon sa tabi. Sinumbong ngayon ng nakita yun. May mga dalang backpack at pinapawisan at nag-a-avoid sa tanod pag suspicious. Sumbong kagad. Pick up. Halos buong Alcobar cell, bombers, huli, extortion group. Okay? So this is it, no? One of the best practices. No? So Genshan is very, 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 very progressive. Very progressive. Meron pa nga dyan pyramiding dyan. Ang dami dyan pyramid. Marami ng pera eh. Next slide, please. So here you see a sample sa Quezon City. Sa may eskwelahan, maraming nahulog dyan sa kanal na yan. Project ng Manila, Maynila diyan. Nakita ng pulis, sinumbong during the tawag Maynila, gawa kaagad ng okay, these are very simple but pumapalakpak ang academy, pumapalakpak ang mga principal, pumapalakpak mga madre yan, teacher yan doon. Next slide please. So here you can see, highway patrol lang. Daming masagasaan dyan na bata. Gumawa sila ng chok, nag-react agad ang municipal government, no? Nagbigay kagad sila ng mga mga pintura. Next slide please. So here you can see here, no, yung rectang connect agad ng Region 3. I think you know this already. Next slide please. So this is community based. Next slide please. May LCAC pa nga dito eh, yung LCAC ng Next slide please. Pulis sa barangay, ito sa Region 12. No? Nandyan pa rin yung kanilang retooled basic services din yan. Next slide, please. So, we know that it is hard, it is harsh. Ang ating ngayon, napakaraming, not only criminality, insurgency, pandemic, public safety, pati tayo, pati pamilya natin, hybrid na ang ating challenges. But never mind, but this struggle you're in today, is developing the strength you will need tomorrow. Okay? Okay? So, sabi nga ni Mao Zedong, guerrilla must swim in the people as the fish swim in the sea. Ang guerrilla criminality, ang terrorist is that isda, ang tubig ay ang komunidad. Kung angkop ang tubig sa isda, buhay si isda, dadami si isda, dadami si insurgents, dadami si terrorist, dadami si kriminal. Pero kung lason ang isda sa tao o sa tubig, o kung lason ng tubig sa isda, patay si isda. Ladies and gentlemen, this is winning the hearts and minds of the community. Together, all the agencies of the government must work hand in hand to achieve this. So this is the what? The advocacy now. No, we are only supporting. The community must own this. Of course, our local government, our mayors, LCE will lead. Okay? With that, ladies and gentlemen, we go to your workshop. Okay? uh, let's look at this. I hear, I forgot. I see, I remember, I do, I understand. Bilisan ko na lang ha. Sabi ni Confucius, di ba? So, you look at this one. 5% kung hearing lang. Sigurado ako, bukas wala na. Wala kayong reading eh. Kaya ako nag-high ako sa visual aids eh. No, para 10%, 20%, demonstrations, wala masyado. Discussion group, wala tayo masyado ngayon. But teaching others, 90%. Immediate application of learning in a real situation is 90%. This is the very reason why we will have some assignments. Okay? Diba? Number 1, you will do the immersion. No? Kung okay lang siya. Okay ba ito, city director? Huh? Let's see. Let's see. So, we'll have assignment number 1, immersion, individual requirement ng Chief of Police. Okay? Chief of Police to. Or station commanders, no? Conduct CSOP orientations in one barangay in your area of responsibility and submit after activity reports sa CSOP sa coordinator ng Napolcom. After 1 month, copy furnish ang Community Affairs Development Regional Office. 3 yan, hindi 10, 3. 10 yan, okay? So, bigyan din ninyo yung police niyo doon para makita nila yung ginawa ninyo. Okay? So, of course, ang assignment number 2 ninyo is this. Individual requirement, identify a problem in your area of responsibility. It could be about criminality, terrorism, pandemic-related issues or related issues on public safety concern. Okay? Apply CSOP system from the identification phase up to the implementation or feedback phase. Okay? Then present your output in a PowerPoint format. Kayo na bahala dyan. And maybe if it is needed, submit a proposal to your sangguniang bayan sa kanyang POPs under POPs plan. Or the IATF executive implementing body in PDF form. So, yung ITF pa naman kasi sangguniang bayan din, sa ano rin yan eh, sa City Hall din yan eh. Meron kayong task force dyan eh, local task force. Okay? Then, submit your CSOP, submit to your CSOP coordinator in Napolcom Regional Office. After 1 month, na copy, furnish ang police. Baka ang karamihan sa inyo, meron na nito eh. Kaya you can just document it. Okay? So, let's see, no? Let's see. Now, of course, ang Napolcom meron din ganito kasi requirements. Okay, next slide please. So here, this is the format, sample format ng Napolcom. Okay? So yun, scholarship. Now, of course, yes, situation is still uncertain natin. As what I've said kanina, challenges will be hybrid, hard, harsh, horrible. So, well, I was at the end of the day, at the end of the day kasi when I was walking, I remember this. No, dumadaan kasi ako sa simbahan every day. And just last week, I think that's just last week, there was sa sermon sa isang gospel. Ito yung nakasulat, no? I would like to share this with you. This is very personal to me kasi na-relate ko sa trabaho kasi the kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servants, nag-invite siya and tell them to come but they refuse. No, marami siyang in-invite pero walang pumunta. So, sabi niya, invite anybody, no? Pumunta ka sa daan, invite anybody to the banquet. So the servant went out to the streets and all the people there he could find both good and bad. In-invite niya and the wedding hall was filled with guests. Okay? So, okay, you know. But when the king came in to see the guests, he noticed that a man there was not in wearing a wedding cloth. Then the king told the attendants, tie him hand and foot and throw him outside into the darkness where there would be weeping and gushing of teeth. So here, there are two things, no? Yung invitation at saka yung wearing of the clothes. Pakiclick nga yan. No? So, I just remember this, no? Sa PNP kasi yung invitation recruitment yun natin di ba? And I remember when I was applying for cadetship, sa examinations pa lang, we were the first martial law baby cadets madali lang pumasok, inimbita kami lahat kasi wala na yung congressional quota Isa na lang presidente martial law Presidential quota na lang lahat So marami kagad nag-responde sa invitation ng PMA. About 8,000 ata 8,000 ata tinanggap na mag-exam. Yung iba hindi na natanggap but they were invited, all of them were invited. So sa process of course was the exam sa recruitment. So after the exam, I think 250 lang ang nakapasa. After the 250, meron kaming initial physical examination. Pumunta ako siyan sa Cagayan de Oro sa Port Military Area. And ganun din sa lahat all over the Philippines. And after that, lahat-lahat na nakapasa sa initial physical examination is only 250. Pumunta na kami sa Biluna. And after sa Biluna, ang nakapasa ata 160 kasi turn back na yung iba na pumasok na classmate namin. 160. Usually 100 lang ang nakakapasok. But the invitations for everybody starting from the exam, no? So naisip ko yung recruitment natin, no? So naisip ko rin, bakit kaya ako naman gusto ko lang lumabas dahil nahili ako sa aking mga classmates na nag-aral sa Manila, ako nasa Davao pa rin. But I passed, no? So yun ang nakisip ko, no? So when I passed now, I was able to enter the academy and of course sa academy marami pa rin na-wash out sa mga kaklase ko. No, during the plebhood, marami pa rin. But I graduated, okay? I graduated. Now, look at this, the other thing. The other thing na nakita ko doon is the wedding clothes. No? There was the invitation there and there's the wedding clothes. So nakita mo doon, no, sabi nila na white wedding clothes. Kasi sa kasal noon kasi kailangan level ang playing fields. Dapat pantay-pantay lahat. Hindi mayaman, walang maraming mga kukurantong sa katawan. So para pantay-pantay sila during the wedding ceremony, nakaputi sila lahat. Binibigay sa kanila yon. So here, I would like to relate that wedding clothes into our mission. Kaya naka-uniforme tayo, pantay-pantay tayo lahat yan. But the wedding clothes actually is the mission. No? For that particular, the wedding clothes is the word of God. How we, how we perform, how we follow His word. No? Yun yung ibig sabihin noon. No? Kasi nagsabi siya, you wear the wedding clothes. This is my commandments. No? So sa atin naman, that is our mission. No? Standard ng police. So that is our mission. And of course, when I become a policeman, PC then policeman, I saw that there is a deeper meaning sa mission, especially sa implementation. And this is about the trust and confidence. No? It's about the proper way how to execute our mandated tasks. No? Walang liis, kaliwa, sa kanan. Because we need to have the trust and confidence. No? So maraming lumihis at marami rin nalaglag, nakasuhan, maraming nag-fail and they didn't even finish their profession successfully. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say this because if we will go back to that saying, initially kasi, I firmly believe that I joined the profession because I was chosen. It was providential. Maraming nag-apply pero hindi nakuha. Maraming nag-try, maraming nabagsak, maraming layers pero I still was able to finish it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think many are invited but only few are chosen. I think you are still in the service, ladies and gentlemen, our police force. I think you are one of the few who are chosen. Right now, you're still here. Huwag kayong lumihis. No? And we are chosen because you have a mission. And normally, we always align it with something higher. No? Something higher. And I'm saying this because this is our relationship, a very, very big relationship sa ating pinag-uusapan ngayon. Okay, next slide, please. Few are chosen. And this is it. We have to align it here. Kasi sabi niya, whatever you do to the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done it to me. All the basic services that we have mentioned, all the situations that we have said, all the root cause, it is about here. It's about basic services. It's about services. And if you know, sa police force, yung number 6 core work values ninyo is service. And when we talk of service, it must be quality service. It must be quality service. Service for others. Service beyond salaries. Ang Abu Sayyaf at saka yung Marawi, ISIS, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Beyond working hours. No? And even beyond recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, these are quality service. Because your white robe is this. Look at your white robe. Badge nila, please. That is your white robe. And if you look at the first one, that is service. Do not be like the one person there, na isa. He was invited, he responded to the invitation, but he did not wear the white robe. Please wear the white robe. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my briefing by telling you that this is not about your organization. CSOP is an individual philosophy of a policeman. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to end my presentation with this. What our age lack is not reflection, katulad ng lecture na ito, kaya may assignment kayo, but passion to comply with that assignment, but passion to do, operationalize service. Operationalized service. Unless yung inyong passion lang ninyo, yung kamukha lang ninyo. Yan ang sinasabi ko. Ha? Yung reflection niyo sa mirror. With that, again, thank you very much to all of you. And just see na totoo itong sinasabi ko sa inyo. And more power to you and hope to see you in the near future. Thank you very much. Pasensya na kayo, mahaba-haba konti.
Thank you, Sir Serapio. As usual, the presentation and your discussion were truly spirited and interesting. Maraming salamat, sir, pati po sa mga take-home assignments. Sigurado po, na-note yan ng ating mga participants. Now, I turn over the floor to the moderator of the open forum, Ms. Remy Borejon. Madam?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Just read the reminder to our participants. For those who are going to ask some questions or some insights, to gain some insights on this lecture. But before I read I just I read this our heartfelt thanks to Commissioner Serapio on behalf of the Regional Office Number 3 for sharing a very invaluable, informative lecture on today's orientation on community and service-oriented policing system. Next time po, sir, yung ating CSOP will be in Bulacan. So may I just read a reminder for our participants?
Uy,
Yun. So,
ano daw?
if you have comments, please post them in the chat section by clicking the chat box. Sa ibaba po makikita ninyo yung chat box natin. If you wish to ask questions to the panelists, please type your question into the question and answer box. Next, please. Okay, malinaw na po tayo mga participants. If you have any questions who wants to throw, the first question, it can be directed to our resource person, Commissioner Serapio, or to other VIP in this orientation. Hindi ko naman nakikita yung mga meron po tayong reaksyon, mga dear participants.
Gutom na.
Mga COP natin, baka gusto
Gutom na siguro. Na-overshoot tayo, nag-overshoot tayo. Kailangan lang talagang mag-sample tayo ng marami para tuloy-tuloy na. Galing ako diyan eh. Si City Director nandiyan ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes na. Nandiyan pa. Nandiyan pa si Patrick. Okay, Patrick. Pupunta ako diyan. Meron akong St. Peregrine na ano diyan na wala pa ata akong ano diyan eh. Yung build during the time of ganun. Sige, project tayo. So, do you have any questions dito? Ayan. Diba?
Parang wala pong nagtataas. Attendees po, meron pong nakataas ng kamay.
Okay.
Marianito Lasso.
Okay, please.
Sir Lasso, are you raising your hand, sir?
No, ma'am. No.
Nakataas po kasi yung hand niyo.
Hindi, ma'am. Hindi, ma'am. Wala akong tinataas na kamay.
May icon po kasi. Anyway, sige po. So wala na po bang ibang questions?
Nataran pa sa assignment.
So kung wala po, as they say, all things need to end. May we now call on the Deputy Regional Director for Administration of the PNP Regional Office 3, Police Brigadier General Leo M. Francisco, for the closing message.
In behalf of our Regional Director, Police Brigadier General Bal De Leon, let me begin by thanking all participants for actively participating in this orientation by BTC. Of course, sa mga punong abala sa pangunguna ng Napolcom 3, Region 3 na pinangungunahan ng isang kaibigan at dating kasamahan na si Regional Director 3, Ma'am Juliet Ranieses. Welcome to Region 3, Ma'am. Kasama ko siya sa mga committee meetings namin way back when we are in CIDG. At lagi kami nagkakasundo ni Ma'am Juliet pagdating sa mga application or applicants na pumapasok sa PNP sa mga promotion na quality over quantity ang aming yardstick. So, because of that, ma'am, yung aming promotables na mga police major to police lieutenant colonel ay ninais namin na mag-attend dito para dagdag kaalaman nila at refresher training. Kasi nung nag-interview ma'am kami, kailangan nila itong community and service-oriented policing system na ito. Ma'am Ranieses, welcome to Region 3 and we will always see each other sa mga darating pang mga activity.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me also extend our thanks to the staff and personnel of Napolcom 3 for having this kind of orientation. And of course, to the idol of the PNP way back 15 years ago, sir, or so, si Sir Serapio kasi ay classmate ng boss ko na si Sir J. Catalunya. So, during his Angeles time, na pupunta kami dito ni Sir J, kapitan pa ako noon.
Oh.
Sir J. Catalunya, sir.
Yeah, si Jake, madalas. CIDG rin nata siya noon.
Yes, sir. We were in the CIDG and si Sir talagang pag nagkakwentuhan kami, nakakatulog na ako, hindi pa tapos yung kwentuhan nila dalawa. So, these are all wisdom now. Yun yung behind pala sa mahabang kwentuhan, sa mahabang exchange of pleasantries is equals wisdom na nakinig ako kay Sir from the start until the finish dun sa aking room. Sir, Serapio, magandang hapon po at maraming salamat din. Allow me also to say a special word of gratitude to the only lady commissioner. Si Ma'am, as we call her Seni, ay bumisita sa La Union noon. And being the provincial director that time, I met her in a dinner. So syempre, nagpapa-snappy ako, babayaran ko yung dinner niya. Napagalitan ako at ididimanda ako ni Ma'am. Dahil ayaw niyang binabayaran yung kanyang kinain at siya ang naglibre sa akin. After that experience, I came to know that her middle name is Francisco. From Bulacan. My grandfather was also from Bulacan. Kaya pala somewhat stricto din ako. Nakita ko kay Ma'am yung pagka-stricta niya pero mababang loob. Ma'am Seni, thank you very much. Thank you po. At naging madali yung pagdaan ng papel ko sa Napolcom. Experience tell us that enticing citizens to get more involved in crime prevention and criminal justice processes is no easy task. This is why we keep on finding ways and means to continuously build a strong police community partnership. Most of the PNP's programs are anchored on police community relations. In fact, it is among the 9-point agenda of our Chief PNP, Police General Camilo Pancrasios Picascolan, to strengthen the Bayanihan spirit as well as the Barangay COVID Defense Plan project, otherwise known as BACOD. Dito po nagsimula ang Barangay Defense Plan sa PRO3. Similarly, here in PRO3, our patrolya ng bayan is very much in effect. It is revised scheme of integrated patrol which ensures operational readiness, having the police and barangay peacekeeping safety officers presence at critical areas, enabling them to respond on time and to address public safety concerns and threats. To our honorable commissioners and the entire Napolcom 3 team, headed by Director Rañeses, rest assured that Police Regional Office 3, under the watch and helm of Police Brigadier General Bal de Leon, will always adhere to the policies and directives of the Commission and its 12,769 strong-willed personnel will continue to efficiently and effectively deliver the best police services while managing to keep abreast in coping with the prevailing situation, especially with regards to peace and order within Central Luzon through the effective implementation of our community and service-oriented policing system. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.
Salamat po, Sir Francisco. Our Regional Director Rañeses reminds all of you that our doors are always open. Huwag po kayong mag-atubiling lumapit sa Napolcom kung kailangan nyo po ng guidance or assistance, lalong-lalo na po sa pagganap ng CSOP workshop assignments nabigay ni Sir Serapio. Totoo po yun. Totoo pong imo-monitor po niya yan at hahanapin niya po ang mga submissions nyo. Kaya po, seryosohin niya po yung sinasabi niyang assignments. So maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikilahok at magandang araw po sa lahat. So pre-note na po natin lahat po ng attendees sa ating room. So kung pwede po, buksan niyo po ang inyong video para po sa picture taking natin. So lahat ng attendees po, meron na po tayong video capability. Para po makapag-picture. Okay, sige po. Picture po. Sir Serapio. Ngiti po, sir. So maraming salamat po at after a month po, babalik po kami sa Region 3 para hanapin po yung inyong mga workshop outputs.
Sige. Thank you.
Thank you very much po sa lahat.
Patrick. Siguraduhin mo, Patrick, ha? Saan si Patrick? Lumabas ka agad si Patrick, eh.
Hindi, sir. Nandiyan pa, sir. Hindi lang po siya naka-audio.
Hindi naka-audio si Patrick.
Pero sir, ayan. Sir, paki-unmute lang, sir. Sir Patrick.
Nakamute po kayo, Colonel.
Yan po, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much po. We will be doing our assignment, sir.
Hindi mahirap yan. Nagawa na ninyo, eh. Nakita ko sa briefing nyo, eh. Anyway, sige, we expect that. Nandiyan naman si Juliet, pakiano na lang sa kanya.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Drop by there. I'll just drop by there.
Thank you very much and stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Juliet. Live na ako
Yes, sir.
Donna,
October
live na
28,
ako.
sir.
Ano mo yung time? Ano?
Yes, sir.
Adjust niyo
Yes,
yung
sir.
kunti. Agahan lang natin ang umpisa para hindi ka
Yes, sir.
no? Para ano. Sige, okay.
Apa.
Thank you.
Po.